Good evening, kids. It's Midnight's Edge After Dark. Welcome. It's Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Isn't that right, Mike?
Heck yeah. It's free virtual tacos for everybody.
I wish
Everybody
you were here
gets
to make
free
me
virtual tacos. Even Jesse. The problem is that when you order the tacos, you got to hurry up and do them before Jesse cuts in front of you in line because Jesse likes to do that stuff.
That's how I get thirds.
We did try those one tacos that one time. They were kind of nasty, though. What was the name of that guy? The chef. He had that little stand. The wild hair. Can't remember. It was right there in the hotel.
Hey, you want to hear the worst tacos ever for Taco Tuesday? Would be tofu tacos. I actually tried them.
What the fuck?
Tacos.
Yeah, Mexican Iron Man.
That's not right.
Oh, dude, tell me about it, Jesse, bro. Tell me.
Wow,
and that thing was Guy Fieri.
That's what I was thinking. Yes, thank you.
His tacos sucked.
Yes, they sucked. That, of course, was Mexican Iron Man first, and Jesse of the Crow's Nest next. Two of my partners in crime, of course. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you doing?
We're doing pretty good.
And then, of course, we also have Script Doctor and Culture Casino joining us. How are you guys doing? Script already answered, but
yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm as good as I can be. I'm still not quite 1,000 from Vegas, so I need a nap. How's that?
Right, a lot city gonna say.
I feel like you're kind of jealous. I mean, you guys were on Midnight Edge Radio together, and you guys streamed together today, and I feel like my Tom is being taken from me.
We were holding hands one day too.
Yeah,
what? Oh no!
Well, how else are you supposed to exchange protein strands?
That's right. That's how we make babies.
Oh, very nice.
Joker voice. Thank you so much for becoming. I should say it like this. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Jesse does a pretty good Joker too.
Yes, I do.
See,
well, that was very good.
Joker voice is my boy. What's up, bro?
How you doing? Thank you for being a member. We appreciate that. We do try to do some member stuff. Oh, my mouse is. I got to get a new mouse. It's getting wonky. Dash Dees. Thank you so much. Says Cruella 2, Kathleen's middle finger. We're going to get into that, of course, if you couldn't tell from the thumbnail. But we also have more than Dash D's here. That's right. We've got Nikki D hanging in there. We got Marks 47. We got Goddess of Whim 6 is here. Awesome. Glad to see her. And we have Lindsay, of course. Lindsay was partaking in our script reading, right, Jesse? That was awesome. The last one was just so much fun. The Back to the Future one was.
Yeah, dude, I was listening to it today, and at some points of it, your Doc Brown is like fucking perfect.
Which is sad because I don't think I do a very good.
The rambling parts sound the best.
Marty, time travel is a thing, and you gotta take care of it.
Isn't it hard to do without the lines in front of you?
It's a little hard to do.
You need a lot of stuff to say.
That and the things that he says are just so intricate that you have to once you flub, you're fucked. Like you got it. It's like, can I get a second take?
Yeah, 15 minutes before, 15 minutes after. I don't know. Just do the thing.
Yeah, you've got problems. And I loved playing 60s Doc off of. That's the fun kind of spoiler of the difference between the scripts is the original version of Back to the Future 2. Instead of going back to the 55, they go to the 60s, and yeah, it's really fun. So check that out. That's on Jesse's channel, but we're going to do some more of those. Spider Unlimited is also here. He says, missed all the ME content. Good to be back. Well, I didn't know you were you out there in Vegas too, Spider Unlimited? I think you may have mentioned that before. If you didn't, I'm mixing up with somebody else, and I apologize. But
nah, he was in prison.
Oh, well, that's not good.
No. No.
So now I don't think I missed any other super chats. So now we're caught up there because that one I did get. Stephen Otten says, hail, Tom, Mike, Script, Jesse, Culture, Wrenches, and chat. Please tell me the Princess Bride story is fake.
Why?
Depends on which one you're talking about.
Well, someone retweeted the one from a couple of years ago about the remake, and we know that's not
that part's
happen.
Fake. They were talking about some kind of sequel, though.
Yes,
I think. And I was like, with the take I heard, I think was really bad. But I'm like, if they did it this way, it would probably work. And not everybody agreed with me, but I think a lot of people did. But.
Well, the writer of the book's dead, so and I don't think the family estate. I think the family estate still holds the rights to the Princess Bride and all.
Maybe that's the problem.
I hope so.
And as Stephanie brings up, this is where the fun is, and that is correct. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for the super chat there. We appreciate that. We also have Culture Casino hanging out in the chat, even though he's on the stream. He's just bouncing back and forth.
Yeah.
And Lindsay just shared the link for Jesse's channel there, so hop on over there and check that out. I think we're going to do another one this week as well. We got your Muslim uncle here. We got Pat S, Proof Gray, however you say that. I'm really sorry if I'm messing that up. And then Dragon Master says in Skeletor voice, "What?"
That never gets old.
Never. No. And what's funny is he does say it a lot.
Yeah, it's only one word.
Because every time something's going down, it's like, "What?" He doesn't say nothing else. That's just all he says. So it's very memeable. And then, of course, Deranged Lunatic coming in with a pooper sticker. You're almost like my internet ex-wife, who we've never really been married, never ever met each other, but we always have this ongoing joy. Christy is my internet ex-wife. Oh. So does this make him my internet stepson? Since he's always sending
I think so, yeah. That would probably be the case.
I think so.
Yeah. Es posible.
He's speaking Spanish or French.
Honestly, he'd probably be your uncle.
Oh, that would be sweet.
Or ex-brother-in-law.
Deranged is a great dirty uncle.
Oh boy,
I don't know how to go.
He got jokes. He got jokes.
Okay, so short for prof, right? Am I saying
professor?
Right,
short for professor. So Professor Gray.
Professor. Oh, Professor Gray. Okay, I can remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, short for Professor Gray. Gotcha, Prof Gray. Gotcha. Awesome.
Yeah.
That means Tom and I are still married. Oh shit, I forgot we got married.
What?
Alcohol will do that to you.
How would you go and get married without?
It was in the middle of a MEAD radio stream. One thing led to another, and
how you could have woken me up? I would have helped you with the prenup.
At least everybody around here is into polygamy.
Wait, what?
I said it. What? So at least everybody around here is into polygamy.
And we're
and my butt. Everybody deserves a harem.
Okay, then.
You see people.
Not her.
I'm kidding, Six. I did not freaking forget. I just said it was in a MEAD.
She's mad.
He just gave you the time and place, actually.
She's taking you to court. And then I'm going to have to disclose the financials. I'm going to get called as a witness.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, well.
But there is news going on, so the show must go on.
There are nudes. Who's got nudes?
Not nudes. News.
Oh.
News.
Okay. All right.
But Robert Meyer Burnett did ask for dick pics the other night, so I can't imagine what his fucking inbox was like. I don't know if you guys caught that. I think Polly was on. Yeah, I know, right? Well, I sent him a dick pic, my funny regular one, not a real, like the dick pic.
No,
where it's a picture of
I would
a
just
dick
send him
pic.
like the Cavett or
Yeah, exactly. It's like that.
I send it to Annie.
Yeah, it's just a picture of a guitar pick that says dick on it.
Yeah.
See, Dick Cheney actually looks like a dick, so it kind of counts.
That is kind of funny. Dash D says 6 equals Lupita. What's wrong with you? Lupita and 6 are not the same person.
We know that.
Oh, we know that.
So thank God. That myth has been busted, Dash D's.
Yeah, thank God.
No.
It's still a Lupita, we would never clone. 6, we would clone like all day.
And I think 6 is right. I'm not so sure that you'd have to worry about it, Mike, because I don't think I could ever sign the divorce papers. So there you go. And with that, she reminds me of so much stuff that I could never, ever.
I think you guys need your own stream, like where like no one's there. It's one of them private streams, And
wow,
that's a little
brown chicken, brown cow.
Brown chicken, brown cow. That's awesome.
Who wants to talk about Kem Smith?
Oh, what happened to that actor on the left?
I don't know if that is that.
Did he have another heart attack or
is
what?
That really the same guy who played what's his face and
Dante looks like
might
shit.
Be, yeah.
Oh my good God, Gertie! I hope not.
Dante's like 80.
Wow. Since Vanity Fair is going to give me this freebie, and Kevin Smith was just so jazzed about getting this news out there today.
What?
Take the piss out of his sales real
Why
quick.
not?
I'm surprised he gave them uniforms for working at a convenience store.
You know what? Allow me a moment. This is what sucks. Is I was really, 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 really looking forward to this movie. Like seriously.
No.
I was. I seriously was. I loved Clerks 2.
Okay.
I mean, I still say the first Clerks is superior, of course.
But Clerks 2 has that thing about it where it would not feel as good without Clerks.
No, exactly. And it's its own thing at the same time. It's one of those rare sequels where it's just as good as the first film and has so many things in it that, you know, and of course, that's the thing is, you know, I mean, Clerks 2 was more memorable than the first one. I know a lot of people have seen Clerks 2 that have never seen Clerks 1.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, you know,
real.
Clerks 3 is going to end similarly or have another gag of Kevin Smith's mom with the milk.
Potentially. But here's the sad part.
Like she finds the oldest date.
As much as I would love to sit here and you know, just postulate the word I'm looking for, or what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of just bounce around ideas of what we
want to praise the play.
Not praise so much, but you just kind of go like nerd out and kind of get into what they could do with it possibly.
Okay, yeah, speculate.
Speculate. There you go. Postulate. That's I think the word I was looking for. It's just kind of I
like speculation.
Speculation. I just don't give a shit. Like
waxing intellectual. At the
right
same
now,
time.
we would have been spending the next 45 minutes or better. We'd have to stop talking about Kevin Smith in an alternate universe where Kevin Smith didn't do what he did to He-Man.
And furthermore, if we did start to have that conversation, because Mexican Iron Man might get triggered, he would have to go take the Bambino Wonder Chihuahua for a walk while that happens. Otherwise, he might say things that he shouldn't be saying.
But I enjoy that.
No. I'm Kevin Smith out, I think. I hope.
And this is what.
Stop beating him. He's already dead.
No, Mike, you're right. And Jesse, that's true. But like, no, it's because I saw this today and I'm like, I should have an emotional reaction and not the one I'm having. And that's where it bothers me. Is like,
look at Dante's face.
Doesn't that feel, Tom? Doesn't that? I mean, look, I don't mean to put you on the spot too much, but it's that feeling of loss that just sucks more than anything. Even worse than not getting what you expect. It's that feeling of loss that you know that you've lost something that you're not going to get, and whatever you already had is probably also still lost, and that's what sucks. And that's what we as fans feel. Thank God there's a you and an Andre, and you've done all these channels for all of us, and my thanks to Script and paving the way and Culture and Jesse and everybody that's on all the channels and the girls and Mondays and everybody. But this is what we have to go through every day of every week of every year, and it's getting old and it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at Dante. He looks fucking miserable. Is that Elijah next to him?
That's what we were trying to figure out. Yeah. That's the name I couldn't remember. Elijah. I don't know if that's him or not.
That's him. Oh, that's him.
Oh, is it really? Oh,
yeah.
My God. The years have not been real good to him. And I shouldn't talk, but still.
Oh, and it looks like Dante's divorced.
Uh-oh.
Because he doesn't have a wedding ring.
He's like 40 years older than her now, looking.
Those two are still there, though, so...
they're probably still part of the cast because they got a kid, but yeah.
Dash D says, Kevin Smith, how about that local sport?
Kevin Smith,
I got you.
How about that local sports team?
Took me a minute. It took me a second.
I'm Mr. Black.
Yeah, gotcha. Oh, Jesus. I had a senior moment. And then Goddess of Whim is sending in a Boshiba dog farting hearts, which we love because it's adorable. And I bet they smell like sweet tarts. I'm standing by that.
Wait, what?
You know, when you open up a pack of sweet tarts, that smell, I think that's what that Boshiba dog's hearts smell like.
Probably.
I think so.
I'll go with it.
In my brain canon, that's the way it works. So anyway, one of the most enduring lines from 1994's Clerks was the incessant lament of Dante, the convenience store punchers, as he spirals down into his private circle of minimum wage hell. I'm not even supposed to be here today. Nearly 3 decades later, writer Kevin is bringing a bittersweet new perspective to that notion. His new film in the series, Clerks 3, is about what happens when these guys realize that someday, maybe soon, they won't be here at all. Back in the 90s, that line struck a nerve as Gen X shorthand for never getting a break, having to fix problems that weren't your fault, and showing up and doing your best, or the bare minimum. While collecting little to no reward, the poster for the original movie featured snarling cast under the slogan, "Just because they serve you doesn't mean they like you." Over the past 27 years, circumstances in real life haven't improved much for the generations that followed. In the new movie, things have barely changed at all for Dante and his foul-mouthed best friend, fellow counter jockey Randall. First look at Clerks 3 shows they're still selling cigarettes, slushies, and skin mags while serving their life sentences at the Quick Stop. Nowadays, the pair own the store. They're joined by Dante's wife, Becky, and the formerly upbeat, formerly teenage Elias. Yeah, it's him. Who were drawn into the not-so-dynamic duo Slacker Vortex in 06's Clerks 2. Time has taken a toll on them, as we saw in the picture, as it has in real life for Smith 51, whose decision to return to Clerks came by way of a severe heart attack 3 years ago. That's not totally true. The film predicated on the idea that Randall survives a heart attack, a massive heart attack, told you guys, quite like I did, and winds up, deciding he's wasted his life, Smith tells Vanity Fair. But before he dies, he wants to memorialize himself. He wants to make a movie. So our boys essentially wind up making Clerks. Told you guys. That's what it's
Can
about.
I interject for a moment?
Yes,
if he
please.
feels that Randall or has a heart attack and wakes up and realizes that he's wasted his life, is that the personal part of the script that he feels like he's wasted his life making quote unquote silly movies?
Randall is his character, right? Like he originally wrote Randall so he could play Randall. That's why Randall
based
has
off
all the
of Brian
best
Adams
lines.
or Brian, the other guy.
Yeah, that from Comic Book Men, the guy with the big bushy beard.
Yeah, the big, tall, bushy beard guy. Yeah,
I'm trying to think of his name now too.
it's Brian something or something.
Yeah.
Brian.
Well, you're that or
Jesse, I don't know why you asked
his friend.
Jesse, I don't know why you
it's on
asked
the
that
tip of my
question because the answer to your question is obviously not, because if that was the case, then in the Clerks 3 script, he would wake up and he would realize that he's a multi-millionaire and doesn't give a crap about anything he's ever been involved with, including the stuff he's involved with now.
Yep. Then you just go around being a dick to everybody for 2 hours.
Yep.
Or like Daniel Hall says, yeah, and then he just makes it woke. Exactly. Dash D says, if Dante caught the clap, would it be Dante's Inferno? Well, that's kind of the original.
Yes.
The original idea of the first script that kind of fell apart, and that's why there are all those little like interstitial titles.
Is that why the 37 made so much of a difference? Because he caught the clap?
The 9 Circles of Hell, right?
Yeah, the 9 Circles of Hell for Dante. Yeah.
Oh,
that was a good one.
That makes so much more sense. I like it. But he never gets purgatory. Oh, he's in purgatory. He never gets paradise.
Yeah.
That's a more you know moment right there, Jesse.
That line is not about herpes. Good God. Anyway, back to this. Clerks 3 will be released by Lionsgate and is currently shooting in Leonardo, New Jersey, at the same location as the original. Unlike the first film, this one will be in color. Oh, they're not shooting like they did the second film, though. Second film only had a few shots in Jersey. The rest of it was shot on location. I can't remember exactly where, but it wasn't anywhere near Jersey.
But they built the movies.
Yeah, they built the movies. I want to say it was in California.
Probably.
But the home movie the pair will be in black and white like the classic. That allows us to reshoot so many of the key moments from Clerks in their movie. So he is literally remaking Clerks.
He's making a behind the scenes of Clerks.
And Randall's movie is called Inconvenience, which he also thinks is clever. No, what would be clever is if somebody actually made. I've said that before. A movie about the making of Clerks would be interesting.
No, a documentary about the.
But there is a great documentary already out there.
X.
Right,
Yeah,
so this right here,
effect.
further evidence that Hollywood lacks creativity, and once you get a lot of money, you get lazy and you don't give a crap about your fans.
I just think this movie is going to be Kevin Smith walking around for an hour and a half up to little kids playing with toys, and then he's going to offer them like way less than they're worth, just like on the Comic Book Men show.
Yeah.
They rip people off on that show.
Yeah, that shows it was all set up. None of that stuff was like off the cuff. Like that's where like script will tell you a lot of that shit's all pre-planned.
Yeah, they already own the book before they bought
What
it.
a reality show.
Exactly. Clerks has never really stopped. Oh, the same thing with all those shows. All of them. Even,
it's like, hey, you're going to win Survivor. Just
even ones that they didn't really have to, like the storage shed ones, they even got caught putting fancy shit in the storage sheds so they'd actually have cool shit to find.
Well, yeah, most of those things are just old clothes and roaches.
Well, right. But anyhow, like that, they've even gone to that extent to where places they really didn't have to. But yeah, Script and I had a conversation earlier on Culture Casino's channel about how writers and the industry are, people don't even realize that like reality shows have writers and stuff. But anyway, you were saying Culture. Go ahead.
Well, they have to, because you have to put those people in situations. You have to prepare them for what's about to happen to them. I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. So yeah, of course, there's writers on a reality show.
Especially these dating shows, that's a bunch of contrived crap.
I actually knew a guy who wrote for the Ozzy Osbourne show.
Oh the
one with the Osbournes, yeah.
Can we have a writer for Midnight's Edge After Dark where we write a script where then all of a sudden Mexican Iron Man shows up and he like inherits?
We do, but you never read the script. Don't you know this is all pre-planned?
Well, if the story ends with me being attacked by a bunch of smoking hot chicks, then I'll be there.
No, we've literally never had a script do that. But
script doctor, team assignment, script doctor's in charge.
Yeah, I recommend for first brainstorming tidbit, I'm going to recommend vanilla pudding.
Vanilla pudding?
Yeah, vanilla pudding is the best thing for women to wrestle in. It's a proven fact.
Oh, God.
Also, it's an aphrodisiac.
It looks good when it's falling off.
No, he did not write the line Sharon, but I don't remember the exact story, but there was some stupid thing where they were like trying to copyright that whole thing with the Sharon thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they're copyrighting the fact that his doctor put him on way too many pills that didn't mix. That's so terrible.
I always wanted to get one of those Ozzy bats, the stuffed bats where the head comes off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were for some. I think there were for some bat organization.
That's like the opposite of making sense.
Well, he never meant to really do that. You know that, right? Like he thought.
They threw up a real one on stage. He just did it.
So now,
the dove was on purpose.
Yeah, but so basically, he had a stuffed bat come out a couple of years back, and like I said, the head comes off, but the proceeds went to some, bat hospital or something like that.
The bat hospital.
Oh, you don't know about those? There's bat hospitals and stuff out there, man. There's a lot of bats that are becoming endangered, dude.
Is there a lot of bat hospitals because Batman just walks around all night beating up people?
Yes.
All I know is this: whatever Tom says is going to be accurate and truthful because that's Bat Tom. I believe in Bat Tom.
He's got the inside track.
Bat Tom is the way, and Bat Tom is the light.
Bat poop doesn't come out of anything. It always stains. Just so you know.
Good to know.
Yes.
We need a more thingy. Ding, 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 ding.
I got one. Wait, watch. Yeah, here it is. But anyhow, yeah, as we were saying, I'm Bat Tom still.
Bat Tom.
I'm gonna be Mead Radio. There we go. Yeah, there's bat hospitals. I watch videos all the time of baby fruit bats or flying foxes and shit. They're so cute.
You're really a wildlife fan.
I am.
Mm-hmm. That's cool.
I wasn't kidding when I said I would be a fucking vegetarian if meat didn't taste so good. I love animals that much, like I do.
My son wants to be a vet.
Cool.
Well, that's cool.
It's supposed to be a very depressing job, though.
It can be, I'm imagining.
Yeah. So
there's a lot of the stuff you deal with.
That's the only thing that I don't like about him liking that profession.
Dude, I would totally have a flying fox as a pet if they didn't piss and shit all over everything. They are so cool.
But that's not a pet.
Get a sugar glider, dude. A sugar glider.
They're similar, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, where were we with this? Because nobody really gives a shit.
No. I was about to say, can we go back to talk about Kevin Smith, the nerd of nerds?
I was going to say, if these women don't know more about you, Tom, how are they supposed to hit on you?
Yeah,
that's true. Clerks has never really stopped finding new fans, but Smith says this movie is aimed at moviegoers who were there at the start. I know we've got, I can do Kevin Smith. I know we got fans who age with us, and it's going to hit a lot of personal places, like my crotch. I don't think I'm going to start crying. Hey, kids, I don't think the 20-somethings are going to be like, oh, God, I'm crying again. No, anyway. He's the voice of a generation. He was, sadly. He says they're going to be like, well, he's the voice of a middle age, if anything, at this point. That.
He's a fucking Judas. Just say it.
I hope young people will find something to enjoy about it, but it's definitely a movie about people who try to be young while being old. Oh, Kevin.
I just want to note for the record, Kevin Smith, that this is one of your most hardcore and ardent supporters over many years. And this is what you do, buddy. This is what you do.
You know how many times I defended Mallrats?
I have bought in every single Blu-ray and DVD that he's put out. Like the week before Masters Universe Revelation dropped.
Yes.
I got Drawing Flies on Blu-ray in the mail.
What?
If anybody knows anything about Kevin Smith, that's a deep cut Kevin Smith.
Holy
title.
shit.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I don't even know that movie.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last part. I cut out.
Blue
on my
Flies.
end.
Drawing Flies. I just got in the mail before. That's how deep of a Kevin Smith fan is. I've got Vulgar. I've got like 2 different versions of it.
Drawing Flies. Is that the high school one?
No, that's the one that I can't remember. I don't think Jason Lee directed it, but he's the star of it. I'm trying to remember. I think which one directed it?
I always
Either
loved
Well,
Bro.
was it the
Flanagan or-
cinematographer?
Maybe. I don't know. It was either Flanagan or one of the other ones that directed it, but Kevin gave him a little money and they made it. It's about a guy who goes to catch Bigfoot. You'd actually probably
Oh
like the
wait,
movie,
yeah, I know
Jesse.
that one.
Is it Sailboat Guy?
He might have directed. You're right. Scott Mosier might have directed it. Now that
Yeah,
you say
Sailboat
that,
Guy.
but it wasn't him, but it was the one before him, the original Snowball.
Because I know the other one. Which
The original
was,
Snowball.
But Ethan Suplee is in it, I think, though.
I know the other one that Jason Lee was in during the actors strike, which was Kevin Smith co-financed, where he played like a deadbeat type of stepfather dude. But the story was about kids in high school, and the kid at the end tries to kill himself and stuff, and it's a dark high school indie film.
Are you talking about A Better Place?
I think it's A Better Place.
That's
yeah.
Vincent Pereira's movie.
Yeah, but Smitty helped get that sorted out with Jason Lee and a couple.
Yeah, he
other
did,
actors.
and actually, that's coming out on Blu-ray. Because I was trying to get him on to talk about it, but yeah. Dash D says, "What's transparent and cries in a ditch?" Kevin Smith.
Wow.
That's my boy Dash. That's funny. Tom, that's funny.
That is
Wow.
Dash D's. Jesse, if your son wants to be a vet, I suggest the Air Force. Oh, wait. Okay. I'm not sure where that goes, but
The fact that we're running into World War III because of a certain.
I don't think he's old enough
asterisk.
to worry about that right yet. But Dark Shadow says Clerks 3 is going to bomb hard. None of Kevin Smith's movies have set the box office on fire, and he has alienated a massive portion of your audience. You're right, Dark Shadow.
Yeah, I think Clerks 2 did 36 million.
Clerks 2, I think, is one of, I think Dogma or Clerks 2 are like his 2 highest grossing films.
This
Something
is
like
like
that,
the Underpants Gnome. Step
Oh wait,
one,
Jay and Silent Bob
amass
Strike
an
Back was
audience.
pretty popular.
It did do well. Actually, that might, but I still, for some reason, think Dogma's his highest grossing film.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of he got
The
a lot of
star
free press
power
from the
and shit, yeah.
religious advocates.
The Walt Man says, I get the feeling we might see some ripples from Fallout currently in the real world. Won't be big, but go, look, we got something worse than the PC issues combined right now. Well, if you're talking about the current affairs, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get into that because, YouTube will probably come after us quicker than shit. But
We could always just talk about Bastille Day and how great of an idea that was, though.
about what?
Bastille Day.
Bastille Day.
Yeah.
Well, Darius has his popcorn out. So we're going to get ready to get into some other stuff here soon, too. But let me finish this article. And Culture's been real quiet because I want to hear what he has to say about this, too. So anyway, that means not trying to hide the fact that his leads aren't kids anymore. All of us are in our late 40s, if not 50s, and you'll see the progression, Smith says. We don't hide the age. We don't Hollywood it up. We all look as we look, except Rosario. Yeah, she never ages, man. She's preserved in amber. That I can't argue with.
So
The let's make a movie plot of Clerks 3 is meta, way too close to the circle with Smith's own origin story. He came to the realization when he was a 24-year-old Jersey nobody working in the same convenience store featured in the films. Like his character, Smith was a pop culture junkie. He maxed out multiple credit cards and sold off much of his beloved comic book collection. And I wonder if he's taking advantage of the fact that maybe this store probably had to close down during COVID.
Oh, and yeah, he's just basically giving them a bunch of. I think he owns a stake in that store too, doesn't he?
I'm thinking he does. I think he does.
Because his employers were the ones that helped him get those massive credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
So he could
I'm
pay
not even sure if I really want to read the rest of this. I'm just getting like a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
Well, let's do what
we
we
scroll
want.
up a little bit to
Kinda
see
like a
the
snowball.
before and after of the poor Elijah character.
I know, right? Holy shit. How is that even the same guy?
Easy. He
Stopped walking.
He found donuts. I don't know.
Poor dude. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I hope with the money from this movie, he's able to get back into shape.
Is that what the top one is, in shape?
But these two look the best of all of them,
Closer.
actually.
Yeah,
Obviously,
Randall
Rosario.
looks the same.
Randall looks almost the same. He's a little older, but you
Dante
can see the gray there.
looks like a porno producer from the early 80s.
And he looks like the cinematographer.
Yep, yep, exactly. You got this down.
Oh,
Poor Rosario better run.
oh.
It's okay. She's kind of a commie.
I
She
wish I
get
could
what
get
she
excited for this. I really do.
I'm not excited about this at all. First off, as opposed to everyone else, I don't like Rosario Dawson because she's a fucking communist. This movie is going to just be a bunch of trash by a guy who just shit all over everybody who ever gave a shit about him. So he could go fuck himself. This could collect dust. And I feel sorry for Randall because he's funny as shit.
Yeah, he almost made it to where we didn't get a Clerks 3. It wasn't until Kevin wrote this version that he was on board.
Maybe he should have just stuck to those guns.
Culture, you've been quiet.
What do you want me to say? I mean, look, this thing's gonna suck. There's no way I'm gonna see it. I'm freaking pissed off.
Who must maybe spit?
I'm just, I mean, you know, you can get a rant out of me. Is that what you're looking for? Because I mean, I'm
giving
mad.
you a chance to talk, man.
Yeah, no.
I'm just wondering why they're going to shoot their fake film in black and white, given the digital age it takes place in.
Yeah, it's really dumb. There's so much dumb here. I mean, but
That really doesn't make sense. You're right. Script.
I'm frustrated.
Everybody's just like so over it that they don't even care to make fun of it. That's such
Honestly,
a bad sign for this guy.
It would make more sense for Randall to get the inspiration from the fact that, you mean there's like a whole movie studio in your fucking phone? You know, like, you know, like he would be like, I can finally make a fucking movie. You know, like that I could see Randall doing, not like, because they're probably going to have this long thing, like he insists on shooting it in 16 millimeter fucking black and white or some stupid
on
shit.
film, because movies are supposed to be films. And
you don't shoot a movie on your phone, is what, they'll have that whole thing.
It's like, who's going to develop it? It's like,
Star Wars. Make a Star Wars joke fast. Get the audience back.
Exactly. Fuck. Damn it.
I'm sorry, Tom.
Damn it.
Oh, sucky suck. Oh, sucky suck. Kevin Smith is going to put out something again. That is sucky suck.
But you know what really sucks is I did not hate Jane Silent Bob Strike Back. I actually enjoyed it.
I thought it was.
I mean, the reboot, right?
The reboot was all right.
The reboot, yeah. If you actually watch the whole movie, because a lot of people I know must have quit halfway through, or they just, I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not going to say, you know, it's for whatever. It's a taste. It's a film. I get it. Like, not a lot of people are into Jay and Silent Bob. But I felt like the movie paid homage to them, paid homage to all the original characters, did a great job of introducing a few new ones, had a lot of fun poking fun at woke culture and Kevin Smith himself, the Hollywood version. But, like, I can't believe that same person who made that movie is making Motu in this.
Now, do you think the first movie featured necrophilia? The second movie featured bestiality.
A donkey show at best, yes.
Yeah. That's your species erotica, bucko.
I feel like today's show...
Now, how do you think they're going to one-up that in this? No one's going to know.
Jesse, I feel like today's show has turned into a wake for Kevin Smith for Tom.
It is. And it's not even an Irish wig because he didn't even get a good one.
No, this is like a wake for Kevin Smith on Midnight's Edge After Dark for Tom.
You know, if View Askew was its own thing back in the day, maybe it should have stayed that way. You could only make 90s movies in the 90s, right?
In this point, I'm about to agree with you on that one, Jesse. Normally,
Sad but true. I mean,
not that I
otherwise
would
we're shooting
normally
a
agree with
nostalgia
you, but
picture.
I mean, on that point, because I'm always one like, no, give me another one. Keep giving them to me until you know they really suck or whatever. I don't give a shit.
And now you got to that point. What the fuck?
Hey,
man?
Tom,
in the chat.
Tom,
Yeah,
I'm glad. I've been waiting for you to catch up, but yeah, thanks for catching up to my rant from two and a half weeks ago. It's awesome. I'm
I've
here
been
with
there,
open
dude.
arms, free virtual tacos, and a hug from your brother Mike.
I've been there, dude.
I know. I said that on that stream that one time. I said the thing that I feel worse about is because I said this on a couple of streams actually. What I feel what really there is what happens with He-Man, and that did piss me off. But what really is frustrating is to see a guy that like you, who's been a fan of his and a stand-up guy, and it's one thing to say Kevin Smith is doing this to the fans. It's another thing to have one of your best friends actually go through it and watch it happen week after week after week. And that's what's happened the last month. And I feel awful for you, brother.
I appreciate it, but it's water under the bridge now, man. What can we do?
So, Tom, do you think that they're going to have to sell all those cigarettes behind them to make the money back for this movie? The movie that turned into a real store out of necessity.
Oh, it's probably under an $8 million budget.
That's way too much for a Clerks movie.
I don't know. His last few movies have been like 15, 20 million.
It's supposed to be a script. It's not supposed to be a fucking big budget thing, man. He made the first one, what, 28 grand?
28,
Something
30
like
grand.
that.
And then
It was
Clerks
That's a
2
lot
was
of
about
money to
6
one person, but movie budget, hey, shit.
Clerks 2 about $6 million.
What did he spend $6 million on? Movie statues?
Probably building movies.
And some of that was his payback for not getting any of the profits from Clerks.
Yeah.
All
right.
Maybe I like James right there. Maybe Sarah Michelle Gellar will guest star as Karen. So many people have lost their careers this year. Let's have a memoriam.
If you wanted to see an escalation with regards to the necrophilia and the bestiality, I can suggest that maybe one of the lady actors who's playing maybe the girlfriend character ends up falling in love with Randall, and they sleep together, and then Randall finds out it's actually his kid from a previous relationship.
And
then they both throw up, kind of like an old boy thing.
That is really nasty.
That's really dark.
It is really dark.
Honestly, if anything happens, it's going to be to one of the guys this time. Guarantee it.
Oh, most likely.
Because they've had it to where, it's been the Donkey Show, which was a guy involved, but...
Tequila and a Donkey Show. Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. It's went a little too far there. So we're going to rein it back in here.
What they should do is they should have Dante's wife bang Jay.
Oh, man.
That's way worse than a donkey. That dude's been all over freaking place.
Ever see the movie Changeling? No, but I think I know what you're talking about. And I've kind of made that joke too, yeah. Same thing happened to like Michael Jackson and a few others. Tim Burton. Like some alien took them over or replaced them with some facsimile. Yeah, Billy White says Randall was never in a relationship except for Dante. Yeah, but he did fuck a lot of people.
Yeah.
Remember that was his whole thing. It was like, now where am I supposed to go to fuck?
Yeah, because he was doing girls in the video store.
Not only that, that says something weird about Randall as far as Kevin Smith claiming that's his character, because he's always banging underage girls. You ever notice that?
Well, he did do the Captain Morgan outside in front of like two high school
That's
girls.
why I mentioned the thing I mentioned.
Yeah, you did. You got a point there. I forgot. I didn't even think of that till now that you said that. Yeah, because that's his whole thing was like he likes the high school girls.
All right.
But the original version of script of Clerks 3, from my remembrance, before Kevin had the heart attack that Jeff turned down, was basically just that was what it was about. Was Jeff finally falling in love and getting married and shit. It was like,
yeah, he grows up. That's the thing.
and Jeff was like, nah, it's the same thing.
It was a boring take. Yeah.
And that was his thing, is he didn't want to do the same damn thing as the last one. But now he's doing a movie that's the same damn thing as the first one, so go figure.
Well, the different part is that he gets to play someone who's had a heart attack and dealing with the heart attack aspect of it.
He's going to milk that heart attack till the end of his life.
You know, that's what sucks, is it's actually about one of my favorite characters in the universe now, and I really am interested in the story. And I know Script remembers when we first reported on it. I was really fucking excited for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know, because it should be good. Then he just, I don't know. He went mental, dude. He went off the reservation.
That are probably going to be the same as the original, though. I'm sure you guys heard about this. Now, Culture, I know you were gone, but you kind of got brought up to speed on what's been going on.
Oh yeah, this is a fun story. Oh.
So we've got a number now on how much Emma is going to get. She's getting a whopping $8 million. Did Cruella even make $8 million?
I don't know.
It hasn't made
maybe on Disney Plus alone.
It hasn't made a profit. This is one of those films. They were a couple $100 million into it, you know, and that's not counting the promotions, you know, any of that stuff. It's not counting any marketing, P&A, none of that stuff. P&M, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, this thing, I mean, if it's anything close to what they spent on, you know, Black Widow, although I guarantee they spent way more on my goodness, promotion and marketing on that film. I don't know, man. Do you think they spent what, $40 million on this script in promotion and market?
Well, they just spent $1 million more.
They spent more than that.
Probably a lot more. Yeah.
You think?
I thought they spent close. From what I heard, was like 100 and some million they spent on it.
That wouldn't surprise me, because the negative cost going in for Black Widow was $312 million.
Let me look here, but I'm pretty sure
that's so much money.
Yeah.
You know what we could do with that much money? We could buy an IP and make a movie.
Yeah.
Hollywood, we want the Muppets. We could do something with the Muppets.
Dude, I could kill the Muppets. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean,
we could wreck that shit.
You guys are not going to believe this. First of all, they don't have the budget listed. The estimated reported budget, though, $200 fucking million.
Yeah, it was 200. Yeah, it was
Sounds
200
right.
million. It was the same price as Black Widow. I reported that.
How the fuck? Yeah, I do remember that now you say that. Yes. How the fuck? Because I remember saying that then. How the fuck did you spend $2 million on this goddamn movie? Yeah, I think you made that point too. There was a lot of music in it. Well, I guess Disney wishes they probably wouldn't have sold off a lot of their fucking music rights now, huh?
God, dude, there's so many people are selling off so much of a percentage of the music rights.
Do you know there was a time that Disney owned the Queen catalog?
Yep.
Wow.
It's funny kind of story. I don't know the whole ins and outs of it, but it was during the Mighty Duck era, right after right in the middle of Freddie dying, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, they started up Hollywood Records specifically to buy Queen and certain other catalogs. And the reasoning behind it was they were spending so much money on the music rights for the Mighty Duck films. They said, fuck it, we might as well just buy the catalog. I think that was the reasoning behind it.
What happened?
Hollywood Records just eventually folded, and now we have a situation where there's basically 3 companies that control all of music.
Yep.
You have MCA, or Universal. I don't even think it's MCA anymore.
No, it's Universal.
Just use Universal. Yep. You have Universal. You have Sony, and what's the other one?
Napalm Records.
I keep forgetting.
It's Napalm Records. It's the only company that matters.
Warner Brothers. Duh, Jesus. So those 3 companies handle everybody's. Like, for instance, Warner Brothers even handles Disney's music catalog.
Yeah, but doesn't Warner Brothers have like 90% of it or something? It seems like everything.
They got a huge portion of it. Yes. It's kind of well spread out. Like they have a big portion of it, but then like Sony has like some of the bigger catalogs, like Michael Jackson. I think they still have, and the Beatles, if I'm not mistaken, they have some interest in. And then you have, the Universal one, which is very vast and has a lot of classic ones. And that's the one that had the fire where they lost all those masters. Like
that
Elton
was just
John's
absolutely
and Guns
tragic.
N' Roses and shit. Yes.
Tragic. The stuff they lost in that fire. Oh my God, it's absolutely awful. I was involved.
We'll never know the extent. That's the problem.
Because they've never released it because I think
they covered it up.
Exactly, because oh my God. And you know what? The only thing that the masters were, so before comics and music are passions of mine originally, even more so, or as much as anything else about movies and these fandoms. But man, I tell you, in the international music community, DJ community, guys who would produce, it was just a worldwide sigh of just heartache went out when that happened. Because, and I'll tell you, the only reason it didn't become more of a major issue is because so many of us, let's just call us older timers, whatever, have physical media of that stuff, and so it didn't become as much of an issue because there's so much stuff out there. But literally, there were bulletin boards at the time. It's tragic. It's unbelievable. Like, how do you not have that stuff in a fireproof vault? Literally, they don't even cost that much. It doesn't even cost that much to fireproof a room.
No, you just cover it with concrete, essentially.
I mean, we talked about it when we finally found. That's the thing is, a lot of this stuff didn't come out until years after the fire.
Exactly,
because they lied about what was in there.
Yep.
Now, if you're talking about master recordings of music, how come they don't have glass masters?
That's a good question. I know. Well, see, here's the thing is, and this is part of their reasoning behind, we didn't lose as much as everybody says we did, because they happened to actually go in and digitize a lot of that stuff, but not all of it. And there's a lot of it was
not the same.
It's
you
not
cut
the
out
same.
half of it.
Well, there's a lot that goes into that. On top of, there was like catalogs of, blues artists and other people, an entire like old labels that had never been transferred. Right. So they're gone. They are
it's exactly like
gone.
The burning of Alexandria.
Yeah. So they'll never be. And people started realizing what was happening is when people were going back to try and get their masters to do like special box sets and shit. And they're like, yeah, we don't know where it's at. Like, what do you fucking mean you don't know where it's at? And they're like, yeah, we don't know. And they do a little research and they find out that this shit was lost in the fire.
Well, and this is part of the problem. This is a problem with a lot of things. You have these weirdos as execs, and they're not true fans. Because anyone will, look how much love and attention and care any of us give to, like, say, albums that we still have, or anything that's in our collection, comic books and stuff. When you love something and you appreciate, you know how to take care of it, for God's sake.
Yes.
Well, and that's the thing is, there was a big argument of where did the master come from for Appetite for Destruction a couple years back when it came out. I don't know if you know anything about this, Jesse, since you're a GNR fan too, but like, yeah, because people were like, wait a minute, the original masters were lost. How did you get? Because they claimed that it was all from the original masters.
Well, Guns N' Roses were on heroin. They stole things.
Well,
they stole everything to make their first.
Well, basically the short version is basically most people figure out they probably used one of the answer tapes or whatever, where you do like safety copies, dubs, and then like usually the producer will take it home and stuff like that. But that's still what they were arguing is like, wait a minute, you're advertising that this is from the original master tapes when it's not. Because the original master tapes are gone.
Yeah, but like Izzy, he didn't play guitar on Appetite for Destruction. Every guitar you hear on Appetite is all Slash. They could have just had Slash sit down and play everything again.
Well, and as far as I know, the only GNR stuff that was affected was all the early stuff up through Lies, because I believe Use Your Illusion 1 and 2
included Lies, because Lies has live performances on
that's
it.
What I'm saying.
Fake that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I believe Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 and everything after that have been done digitally. So there is no master tapes in that instance.
Somebody stole them. That's it. Somebody took them. One of them took them home. Probably Axel.
Well, that's the thing. Is
Axel's like, gimme.
He might have. I don't think David Geffen would have let him have them, though.
He's Axl Rose.
I know, but David Geffen would have. I don't know. Dash D says, I'm lost. So Emma's $8 million got burned in a fire while she visited the queen with her master who was on heroin. Yeah, we got on a tangent there.
That's an
Sorry
interesting
about
story.
That is a very interesting
I will say that Emma Stone does look really hot as Cruella, but I still don't want to see the movie because I know that she's never going to be wearing less than that frumpy coat.
And I've said this a million times. I don't see a problem with this up until I heard of what her big vendetta is against dogs. And it's like she never had a vendetta against dogs.
In the original book, apparently, her father took away her dog or something.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
It was some stupid shit. It was some stupid shit.
Well, wouldn't that make her love dogs more?
Mm-hmm.
I would think so.
And that's even right? Yeah. I was gonna say,
what else?
No, Cruella just wanted a perfectly printed, Dalmatian coat. Not artificial.
And greedy.
Yeah.
But anyway, on August 13th, one day after the thingy-mabobby, CEO Bob Chapek deflected criticism over the lawsuit during the call. By and large, talent deals had gone very smoothly, he said, and the executive locked in another franchise star for a sequel. Evidently, now it's a franchise. Sources tell the Hollywood Reporter, if you count all the other shit, I guess. Sources tell the Hollywood Reporter that Emma Stone scored a low 8-figure payday for the sequel to Cruella, which was released May 28th, both in theaters and Disney Plus Premier Access for $30. One big unknown is it's unclear what the profit participation structure is for the sequel. Disney declined to comment. However, on Endeavor's August 16th earnings call, President Mark Shapiro referenced the Cruella 2 deal, adding that for its WME division clients like Stone, we are getting the front end for our clients for movies and TV like we always get, and increasingly we are getting the back end bought out, the Netflix model. Okay, now before we move on, I want Script and Culture to chime in here. This kind of goes a little bit more along with what we've been talking about lately, right? Like they clearly made a deal, and they've clearly been in communication with her agents now, unlike the agents for ScarJo, which is something you've been really getting into.
So Scarlett Johansson is represented by Brian Lord of Creative Artists Agency, and Emma Stone is represented by Adam Harris and two others over at William Morris Endeavor. So basically, this is kind of like an agency, two agencies being a little bit pit against each other. What Chapek has done here is what would technically be the norm. An actor is upset, their representatives reach out to them and say, hey, this is the deal. And then Chapek is like, okay, let's figure this out behind closed doors. And they did that. And to the benefit of Emma Stone, now she's getting $8 million to do a sequel that no one asked for, to a prequel that no one asked for. So, I mean, that's a win-win for her. And it's also a win for Disney because now they've got guaranteed content for when that movie is released. With regards to Scarlett Johansson, that's still up in the air. She has now zero security for her future career as an actor in town.
Yeah.
Culture, anything to add to that?
No, that's 1,000% right. I mean, you know, this is really going to take CAA down a dark path, I think, and all of the talent. Basically, the studio, essentially, based on what Script just said, the studio is closing its doors to CAA.
Yeah, I think we're seeing in action. Yeah, Mike, I want you to chime in next because you're somebody who knows a thing or two about money, and then Jesse, you also have a little bit of stake in stocks as well. Like from that point of view, I mean, are you seeing this as a bit of a power play here?
This is absolutely a financial power play. This is essentially UF with me, and we're just going to go in this direction. Okay, so just everybody in the chat stream right now. Okay, we got like 300 or so people. Imagine you're the CEO of a big company, right? And this big name actress from a big name studio, they decide that they're going to like make you try to make you look bad, basically, because that's what it is, right? And true, maybe Disney flexed its muscle first by using the whole, COVID thing, as we say here in South Carolina, but. Then you throw listen to what Script just said. He nailed it exactly on the head. It's like you go to this other agency, which is a competing agency, and their talent. These execs in Hollywood, a lot of these studio guys, they think talent comes and goes, talent's a dime a dozen, producers and directors come and go. No one is ever very necessary. And it comes from this money thinking of this. What's more rare? A kick-ass CEO of a top 10 multi-billion-dollar Fortune-rated company, or actors and actresses that might make, to us, sure, 10, 25 million, a million, $500,000 is a ton of money to us. But not to these CEO types who are used to dealing with multiple, the financial statements alone, when you read financial statements and income statements of big companies, they don't even put all the zeros because it takes up too much space on the page. It's always divided by 1,000, divided by 10,000. It's all dot this, 1.4 billion, right? And so this right here is absolute. This right here is absolute a money chess play. And I got to tell you, I never liked what Chapek did to the theme park experience, but I like what this boy's doing now.
Jesse, I mean,
I love what Mike just said because
okay, I was gonna say, go ahead. Yeah,
there's something that I feel that most people are, and that's afraid of money, right? What do I mean by that? If I give you $10, you're not afraid of that. If I give you $100, $1,000, you're not afraid of that. If I give you $10,000 in your hand, you start to get a little wary. Right?
Yep.
I gave you $100,000. Now you're like, oh fuck, what do I do with this? Right? Zeros
or more
scare
so, what do I
the shit
gotta
out
do
of
for this?
zeros scare the shit out of people. When you're used to dealing with those big figures, it just doesn't even matter anymore. It's shit. See, the thing is, there's that fear of the big number, right? But once you know the big number and you're comfortable with the big number, you no longer fear the big number because there's so much more padding with the big number. You can't fail the bigger the number gets. You want that fucking number to be huge. But I don't know. It's all about management. They have no management at fucking Disney. They have no management in Hollywood. They have no management in any of these things. It's really mind-boggling, quite frankly. Imagine it like Mike. Look at Mike. Mike is really fucking smart, okay? Now, if you took Mike and you just plant him in one of these companies where he has no experience because he's a tax man, it's not his fucking business, he'd do a better fucking job. Why? Because he's a good manager. That's what they need. They need management. Somebody with some fucking balls and a brain.
Well, and that's where I think Chapek is the man for the job.
He has that shitty past where he's too cutthroat about it. You have to have a good manager is cutthroat yet even tempered. If a manager fucks you, you should be happy about it when you leave the office.
Again, and you're not wrong, Jesse. And going off that point for the last few years or the last year or so since we've heard of who Chapek is, everything I've heard about him has been bad. But it's like you more to start to think and realize, especially after the last few weeks here. And we also have Nina Infinity joining us. Welcome.
Hey,
Nina.
Hey, Nina.
But I'll just finish my point here. Sorry, Nina. And then we'll say hello to you. But I think if you look at it from Chapek's point of, or the point of view from the media the last few years, the way they've been painting Chapek has been just the kind of picture, they're continuing to paint here. And that is he can't do the job. But now what I'm hearing and seeing from the other side of this is, wait a minute. This guy's actually giving more shit about what the bottom line is than anybody else we've had in Hollywood before. So you're right. Like maybe in another era, I'd have been like, this is the wrong guy for this job. But script and Cameron and
yeah, but isn't that frightening because that means that it's caving so fast that they need a drill instructor?
It is, but it's exactly what they need. Sometimes you need that kick in the ass. And the example I always jump to is Tom Rothman. From when he was the worst thing that could have ever happened to Fox and franchise entertainment and comic book movies and all that stuff together. And he practically crippled, Fox's production on so many comic book films and cost them God knows how much money in the end. But when he went over to Sony, he pretty much saved their ass. Sony was on the way out. Like they were
ready to be bought up. And
exactly.
that's the thing. Chapek is probably the villain that the industry needs right now, who doesn't mind taking all the
he's a Gordon Gekko, yeah,
for what he's doing, because he knows at the end of the day, I think this is his mantra. It doesn't matter that I'm loved. All that matters is that I'm right. And I think that's what he's doing so far. And until, other decisions come forward that challenge that perspective, I think that's going to be okay. So he might have a short stint at the head of Disney, getting it on track, but it might be beneficial because whoever he decides to pick to follow him has to have the same mentality, but possibly be a bit more diplomatic than how he was, and so that they can maintain their new model and not have to worry about this guy who everybody hates to work for.
Yeah, one last thing before wasting more time. I think that Disney stock right now should be in a proper world $240, $245. Right now it's $174.
I agree with you completely.
Wow, because that is 1,000% the opposite direction that I would put it.
Imagine if Disney was a well-oiled machine putting out good stuff and people were getting driven to those parks and everybody was pro Disney. That's what that company has the potential to do, and they're just driving it into the ground more and more every day. And they've managed to fake the numbers long enough to get it up to where it's almost passable, but they can't break 180 anymore.
From where I sit, you're both right, and because culture, you are 100% right in saying that the stock should be a lot worse than it is, because these investor types are listening to PR, marketing, and they're if there's a drug that the institutional investors on, we're going to call it hopium. We hope Disney gets to a place that it needs to be. We hope it comes back, and we hope that we're going to get some dividends. Because remember, in that investor call, they said that they were not going to. They said neither declare nor issue any dividend cash out. They did an earnings per share announcement, blah, blah, blah. That means nothing. But they said no dividends are going to be declared or issued. Usually they declare them, but they don't actually write the check. They said, we're not going to do it, but we plan to in the future, sometime after the next 6 months. Well, culture's right. The stock should be way lower than it is, but you got these institutional investors that are taking the hopium drug. And Jesse's also right, because had they done stuff right, had they not screwed us up, had they not screwed with all of our fan properties, then guess what? You'd have a company that actually would be viable and be making, and would be financially healthy and have a much higher stock price.
The amount of stuff they own, Mikey. I mean, Jesus Christ, it's mind-boggling.
But it's
the real estate holdings plus all the IPs.
But they've undervalued okay. So here let's do this.
Let's say hello to Nina real quick. Culture.
Oh, it's
Sorry,
you guys.
How are you doing?
No, I'm good. You guys are having such a good convo. Go for it.
Okay, culture, stock dividends.
Okay, no. Well, first of all, the only reason they're not paying dividends is because the biggest institutional investor, hedge fund knucklehead, early on in the global crisis that we're going through right now, said that Disney should not be paying dividends, and he thought it would be bad if they continued that practice. And so basically, like, giving them an out to not paying a proper dividend, which is a sign of health in Disney. Disney's always paid dividends. This is was the first time, and I don't even know how long anymore, because it was a long time that they'd been paying dividends to their stockholders. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. It's that if you talk to any experts, or you look at any proper analysis of Disney right now, they are overvalued by over 50% at the moment.
Agreed.
Overvalued.
I agree with you.
But Jesse's right. I mean, they own enough stuff. The problem is, Jesse, and this is where you and I can probably quibble a little bit. They've devalued everything that they own.
Well, and don't they have a bunch of other holding companies and shit that stuff's under?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
If they got somebody brilliant in there who is really like a visionary. Yeah, you'd be able to build these things back up. You'd find a way.
Yeah,
call it hope, call it karma. Shit happens sometimes. You'll be able to find a way. Yeah. But they can't. And they never will. They're just gonna keep digging that hole digger. Dig up, stupid. Yeah, dig up, stupid. Exactly. Thank you, Nina.
You're gonna say something else, Nina. Go ahead.
It's the craziest thing, because I was actually having a discussion with somebody online today about the whole what if situation, which Script Doctor and I did a review on Sunday with Az. And the crazy part is that we all know how Disney started. Disney started as an animation company. It was a huge animation, the biggest animation company in the world. And just looking at what if, you're like, oh, how the mighty have fallen, because it's literally the exact, what you guys are talking about is exactly what's going on with what if, because what if should be their bread and butter. It should be their, what everybody comes to see Disney stuff for. And they've it's just, the animation is so subpar and on such a bad level, especially in competition with other animation studios that are doing great in Japan. I mean, look at the commercial we got today for another Disney Plus show the Visions
Star
show.
Wars Visions, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what
What's
they're
that?
doing in Japan versus what's going on with the United States company and the animation section of what they're providing. It's unreal, and it makes sense why they would be losing money. It doesn't make sense why they're not losing as much money as they should be. Like I totally follow you guys. It's a bizarre situation in my opinion.
And what we're seeing here, though, is, and I mean, could be wrong. I could be wrong. We all could be wrong about Chapek. But, even though Gordon Gekko was the wrong kind of guy for that movie, in the movie, like Annabelle brought up, he was a degenerate and all this other shit.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't even so much like the devil situation is. I mean, I guess it could be in a sense, but like, yeah, I see Chapek, the more we get into this, as one of those old school guys who's just like, the bottom line is the bottom line. Is it making money? Are we making decisions that are healthy for the overall company and growth? Like we're in a business where we sell, entertainment, and we sell plastic to kids,
Yes.
right? Like that's what we do. And he's put those two things at the forefront now. So
well, we've all been asking, where is this mentality, right? Because we've all been asking,
exactly,
like, don't these companies like making money? Like, who's not, like, who doesn't like making money? And it's been seeming like ideology and political
we've all
whatever
said it
has been coming over that, right? Like over money. That
we've
it's
all
more
said
important now.
Like,
but
how hard is it to give us what we want, or something that would make you $1 billion, right? Like, how hard is it? Just look at the response they got from the Mandalorian Luke moment, right? Like, now imagine if you had a whole trilogy of movies that didn't treat Luke like a fucking asshole.
Yeah. Didn't turn him into a little bitch.
Exactly. I mean, there's those simplicities that I'm sure Chapek has probably paid attention to.
Yeah, but Tom, you got to remember that wouldn't do anything towards further pussifying the American male.
I know this, and that's the problem. And I think that's also where Chapek, and I do feel like this may stretch back to the Gina shit and beyond that. I think that Chapek kind of had a plan in place, and this is part of where the resistance has come from for him from the start, is they knew what he was up to. And people like Kevin Feige, who is very powerful, and people like Kathleen Kennedy, who are very powerful, saw the plays that were happening, and they knew they were losing their power. And that is why they're throwing this guy under the bus. And you had Kevin Feige whispering in ScarJo's ear to go out there and fucking sue Disney to make them look bad. And sure, Disney took the stupidest route they could by, using.
I think it was calculated. I think it was.
I think there's Iger and Feige co-conspiracy there.
You sure?
Yeah, I do too. I agree.
Because the other side of it is, I'm not so sure that Iger and Chapek are as chummy as even Chapek is pretending.
Well, they're not, but they're both Hollywoodites. And Iger, I mean, this is a guy whose ego is so out of control that when he got ready to step down, he thinks he's actually going to run for president. You know what kind of mental, self-masturbation you got to do to go?
That's what I'm saying. How can you not figure that those two are not butting heads right now? Because I think Iger was right there with Feige going to ScarJo's people. Yeah, fucking sue him.
I don't think we got to worry about Disney taking over the White House anytime soon. They shoved the liberal in there. Now look at what's going on. World War III, $30 for gas.
He would have had a better chance going for governor, but I don't know.
Let me say this about the weatherman. Once everybody realized that he was a weatherman, he wasn't going to be president.
The weatherman,
Bill Connors.
I'm not talking about what his prospects were. I'm not talking about what his prospects were. I'm just saying a guy who mentally goes there in his head is delusional and
you have to be to run for political office, Mike. You know
that.
that.
You have to be like
you have to be a kind of a sociopath. The best ones are. I mean,
well, don't say it like that. I was going to announce tonight on Midnight's Edge Mexican Iron Man for president. I mean, I'm kidding.
That's okay. Oh my gosh.
I'd run the country, but you'd have to pay me 3 times what he makes. The president doesn't make shit compared to a comparable position. Are you kidding me?
They have a great pension.
Anyway, while Disney's top brass avoided another contentious lawsuit, Johansson claims the studio sacrificed Black Widow box office in order to grow Disney Plus subscriptions. And
that's not true.
Even if they did, back end and buyout payments will be ongoing conflict with talent. She didn't even let the dust settle, right?
Yep.
And they kind of hinted.
They're over 300 million worldwide for Black Widow, so
yeah.
And I mean, they did kind of hint in their defense that there's more money to be made here. Chill the fuck out, kind of thing.
Yep.
Look, here's the thing. I can't even remember which video and which channel at this point. I'm getting confused with all the Midnight Said stuff. Or which it was on the video. Look, here's the thing.
That's why everybody needs to use the Discord, you boomers. It's organized like a trap. It's like a trapper keeper.
Don't call me a boomer. You knew I was older than Cinco de Mayo when I signed up for the show.
You run a company. You can figure out Discord. It's like a trapper keeper.
Jesse, all right.
Sucks,
Can we do it?
Jesse.
Can we do it behind the scenes like training so I don't have to let 400 people know that I don't know how to use Discord?
Yeah. You open it and you click on the room and you write stuff. So do other people. That's it.
Oh my God.
Literally it.
Oh my God. I don't even know the point I was about to make. See, now you derailed me again.
You two are like a couple sometimes.
I know, right?
I love Jesse, dude.
I love this dude.
I fucking love this guy.
Old married couple for reals.
How long have you two been married?
You're making me look like an asshole in front of our friends.
You hear how he talks to me? Oh my God, I hate this, but I have to bounce. Actually, Tom.
No problem,
So
Nina. Thanks for hopping in and saying hi.
Yeah,
We saw you in
man,
the chat.
Thank you for the invite. Always. You guys are all awesome. Keep going. And also, apparently, Shang-Chi came out with some. Sorry, I forget the guy's name, but
John
he came
Campia.
Out, no, the actor.
Simu Liu.
Simu Liu. Thank you. He came out and he said something about because you know how the Chinese government or whoever it was said he was ugly and he looks like a dog's anus.
Yes.
He replied to that, so that was.
And what did he say?
You should check out his tweet.
Does it involve Winnie the Pooh?
It was funny though.
I'll see if I can find it. But thanks for the heads up on that.
The perfect thing to do.
Take care.
Bye,
honey.
Joker voice says, Nina Infinity is right. Oh, she just left. Right about the animation. Anime is kicking ass here in America. Star Wars Visions is genius venture. Star Wars and anime. Yeah, we said that years ago when somebody did that really cool Star Wars anime online that blew up and was all viral and shit. That was pretty cool. I'm not even a big anime fan of the style, but
I don't like anime, but some of the things they're doing these days are undeniably beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, if it's
and trippy as shit.
That's true.
Gorgeous stuff.
But thank you, Joker's voice, for the donation. Anyway, where were we here?
I don't know. I was just thinking of someone who was going to reply to the CCP in a tweet. They should do it in character as Tigger.
Where we were was Jesse was calling out my boomerism and destroying my self-esteem and eroding my self-confidence.
Oh my God! Didn't you? Aren't you in Skull and Bones?
Hey, stop that! Go back to the show. Back to the show.
Abort.
All right. Yeah, I don't even remember where I was reading here. I think I just really wanted to kind of. I don't know. Is there any of this that's really? Well, it's not that much longer. All right. According to sources, we got that. Okay. Stone and director Craig Gillespie pushed back against that idea, considering a big screen release a matter of integrity, and the studio later changed strategies and decided to release the movie in theaters as well. Had Cruella moved to streaming only, a buyout deal would have been negotiated. But the hybrid release from Disney left the actress and any others involved with back-end bonus deals at a disadvantage. Any streaming opening could impact theatrical box office, meaning bonus benchmarks, which usually begin around the 500 million threshold. Depending on the deal, may not be hit. Both Stone and the movie's players were under contracts for a film made for its theatrical distribution. And when Cruella opened, it was not an obvious contender for a sequel, at least not judging by traditional box office numbers alone. The movie has generated only 221 million worldwide and 85.8 million of it domestically, and because the studio doesn't release streaming numbers, that audience number is unknown. But the movie became a hit with critics, and getting Stone back became a top priority for the studio, which was wanting to show it was talent friendly and could compete with the likes of Netflix, according to a source. Now, yeah, if they want to appear to be talent friendly, that's why. The deal was made on the highest executive level, with Disney Studios chairman Alan Bergman working the studio side, while Endeavor executive chairman Patrick Weitzel ran point for the agency. In fact, one could say that a mantra of Disney's new deal could be described as a Cruella to be kind in the right measure. That was a stretch.
Well, isn't that special?
Even with Stone now on board, a sequel could be a ways away. Yeah. Gillespie still needs to close his deal, and scribe Tony McNamara isn't available to begin writing until early in the new year, sources say, which is another word for saying, well, we'll see if it even happens. But this is just to stave off her suing them for now. So yeah, script. Any more to add to that since we finished it?
No, it's just a signal. That's just Bob Jacob, sending a signal to CAA and to Feige and Iger. It's just like, yeah,
we're willing to negotiate.
Here we go.
We're willing to talk. Like, yeah, see,
we were always willing to talk, but you decided to go this route. So let's see what happens.
And we'll see how that rolls. Chef Nation. Oh my goodness, Chef. You're a member now. That's awesome. You didn't have to do that. You could just, tell me you want to be a part of the crew, because she is kind of part of the extended crew with the script reading stuff, which has been so much fucking fun.
Welcome, Chef Nation.
Have you watched some of that the other night, didn't you, Mike?
Yeah, it was great.
I don't know how much Mike got to watch because you fell asleep, you said.
Well, I was in for a good hour and a half.
Yeah,
it was long. I mean, but it was good.
Oh, we went for 4 hours or so.
You guys,
5 hours.
Mikey, do you want to come play?
Dude, you guys do it in the middle of the night. It's hard. I'm already on, YouTube a lot. I do want to, but if you guys do a Sunday one, I can do a Sunday one if it's during the day or. Well,
that's usually when we were doing them, but then
yeah, it's just that the 22nd to the 30th, I'm on vacation down in Florida, and
what? You're not coming to South Carolina first?
I'm going to Universal on an airplane.
Oh, that's way more fun.
Yeah, it's much faster too.
Buy me a ticket on an aeroplane.
Plus, there's no stopover flight, so it's supposedly.
No, I still appreciate it, but Chef does so much work for us for the script reading stuff. It's kind of like with Mike when he does that stuff to me too.
Yeah, Chef is very reliable because she's a professional chef, so people rely on her all day.
She really did a lot of the footwork on all those scripts, though, that we've done.
Yeah, because she's organized.
Yeah, figuring it all out for us. So,
and she has legible handwriting.
And
that's also very helpful.
It is, for real, especially with pictures.
But yeah, if you guys haven't checked that out, we do keep bringing it up, but they're so much fun. They're almost as fun listening to them, I imagine.
Yeah, because it's a bottomless fucking
Dude, they are. Man. I was listening to you the other night. You guys did great.
Everybody,
Jesse's really good at like calling you guys and being the script narrator kind of dude. He's really good.
Thank you.
So anyhow,
I would like to try being Biff though, because that just sounds like a hell of a lot of fun. Marty, I ain't got the right voice for.
Get out of here.
Because Mega Jetty is going to be busy this Friday. He's going to be at work, so
Greg will have to play Marty.
Yeah, because he's got the good voice for it.
Oh man, Doc. Yeah, I liked how I did.
Are you telling me you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
Yeah, that's good.
I say script can do it too if he's not busy. But
I'm also Canadian, and I have this exact same level of beautiful hair that Michael J. Fox has.
Doc!
Nice.
We'll keep that in mind because I think you said something about doing the 81 script of Back to the Future this next time.
Yeah, because we already got that going in the Discord. Sherby's got it to read. I'm actually going to read that this evening.
QQ. So, Culture, any more thoughts on this whole business now? Because you're kind of finally getting kind of up to speed.
Yeah, I feel like I'm caught up. I did a bunch of reading. The problem is that this film will never get made. I mean, the deal's there. I don't
right.
It's like the make goods. We talk about make goods. This is just a different kind of a make good. In a different part of the industry. I feel like you know, she's going to end up with a check, and there's going to be nothing to show for it, and that's probably fine.
Are you serious?
Dude, look, there. If someone calls them on the carpet about it, I mean, you could have a stockholder. You know this, Mike. You could have an influential stockholder say, "You're doing what?"
That's a good point. That's
a
very good point.
You know,
you're right. You're 100% right.
It only takes like a handful of people to go, we're writing a check. Why? And so they have to hide that stuff. So here's what they do. They're like, okay, well, the film didn't make the money, and they're not going to direct a video her. Right.
The only other side of it I see, culture, not to interrupt, is just basically what they would do is, they talked about not having a deal yet with the writer and the director. Well, unless the writer and director have some kind of stake in this somehow, which I doubt, considering Cruella is a character that Disney owns outright. They have zero, responsibility to the writer and the director. They can go and get some cheap writer and director and get this fucker fast tracked and cost, the big expenditure just being Emma. And that's what I don't understand, where they spent the money on the last one.
They'll get a fresh writer and director for this.
That's what I was thinking. Script, exactly. Yeah, that's generally how they do these things. But anyway, going off that culture, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I think
that's right. If it happens. That's like the big if.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Again, this is just me. I can't imagine this film actually gets. I don't think it's going to get made. Script. Do you disagree with that?
How could it?
I'd say it's a long shot, but not an impossibility. The worst case scenario would be that they say, "Oh, Cruella's not going to get made, but we have another project for Emma Stone that we can roll over with the $8 million, and then give her a bonus of like 5 to 6 on top of that."
Okay.
White Knight brings up a good point here. If Chapek has the stockholders on his side, which reportedly he does have most of the major stockholders on his side, he must have some of the big holders. I wonder if Lucas and Murdoch are in those ranks. That's a very interesting
Lucas
question.
Would definitely be in the rank if he's talking about distribution and merchandise. That's Lucas.
That makes fucking sense. Yes. I know.
How old is George now?
79.
Wow. How's his health?
Good from all accounts. I like Diet Pepsi and spaghetti, but I got diabetes.
And he's obviously got more money than God.
His wife is very intelligent and very conscientious about him, so I think he's going to be doing okay for a while.
I got a narrow urethra.
Do you? That makes sense.
Yeah.
What about the urethra?
Huh?
Narrow.
It's narrow, but I still managed to make a kid.
Does that just make it go harder?
I made it in a lab, Industrial Lights and Magic lab. I mean, the kid. It's a person. It's not a special effect, I promise.
Oh my God.
I said I promise.
Yeah, to the wrong thing.
Are you a lawyer?
I could be.
All right, I gotta break character.
I know how to look stuff up in a stack of books. You don't need to know everything, just what you're dealing with.
Oh Lord. All right, kids. That was the main topics I had for today. There was a couple other minor things going around. I guess we're getting we talked a little bit about this on your channel, Culture. We're getting Expendables 4, we knew. But we're also getting the Expendables still, supposedly. And not only that, I guess Sylvester Stallone is coming back to the Escape Plan franchise on top of that. News to me, but hey, I guess.
That shit played out.
Yeah, I think we lost Culture. I think he had to step away.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, we have Expendables and Expendables and Escape Plan, and because Stallone and Arnold want to work together again, apparently. So all this news came out of Bulgaria.
Which I've noticed has been a little bit of a hot spot for filming lately. You know anything about that script? Tax reasons, I'm assuming.
Most likely tax credits. Yeah, well, we're probably going to see a change in tax credits for film in a bunch of states and places in Canada in the next 4 to 6 months.
Didn't what was it? Some other big production just shot there too. What was it? trying to remember. It's funny because Cameron just went out there too.
Oh, in Bulgaria.
Yeah.
Ah,
I know there's at least one or two things that have been going on over there that it's like all of a sudden that's become the new hot spot.
Oh, it's cheap.
it's cheap. There's a lot of undeveloped area that allows them to build stuff there without any risk of it being taken down for permit reasons or stuff of that nature.
Power lines and all that crap around.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Stanley Kubrick? What films do you think he would have made if he lived? How would he react?
Excellent question.
We've actually kind of had a similar question to this before.
He would have made more movies out of books.
He probably would have tackled an esoteric novel from like the 40s or 50s to address today's current climate.
Yeah.
Or he would have made
one that nobody would have ever even heard of.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Magic Kubrick 2 in 1984.
He wouldn't do that because I think he actually rather liked the film version. That was already.
Then I think he would think it's too on the nose, probably.
Yeah, he would do something from a book that probably a majority of the world has almost never heard of.
Well, he did Clockwork Orange. Maybe he would do The Wanton Seed by Anthony Burgess. Because that's a good dystopian future.
I know he never was into sequels, but I always wanted to see a sequel of some type to Clockwork. I know that's almost sacrilegious.
No, it's not, because I've thought about writing one myself.
But it would be like, yeah, you'd have to figure, okay, so, because what's his name? Malcolm.
Alex DeLarge.
Yeah, Malcolm is at a certain age now. Like, you could put him in a position where...
Did you read the book?
Years ago.
Did it have the 21st chapter, or did it only have
I don't think it did. I think it came out after the movie.
That's the American version.
But I've read the chapter online years ago after that, but like I vaguely remember it. But like,
yeah, it was essentially he chose to be good. He'd grow up because he wanted a baby, because he took a picture of a baby out of a magazine and he left the droogs behind because he had a job at doing the music thing.
And that's kind of where I would figure he would be, like, doing whatever, like, at this day and age. But then he would run into something that he, kids like he was or something like that. But that was almost kind of like, that's too much like a standard sequel, and he'd never do that. I don't know what Kubrick would do with a sequel to Clockwork. But
you'd either have to, it's hard, because it's hard to put that overlying theme that the original had. Because what are you going to do? Make a Death Wish? Droogs attack him? That's not a good idea.
You almost, like, that's where I was saying it would almost turn into something that wasn't like the first film. That'd be the problem. It would almost have to be.
Yeah, because the entire point of A Clockwork Orange is human choice and free will.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, you could turn it like the most I could. That was why I always thought, no, it was a dumb idea. And that's probably why he would never do something like that, even if he could have. Was because like the closest thing you would get to it would be where he would be like in a mentorish kind of role, like a teacher or something like that, and he's dealing with students or kids that are similar.
Yes, because he is into music.
Exactly, and that's where I figured. But I'm like, that's just
and his job was cataloging music. So
exactly,
that
that's
right
the problem.
Some kind of assistant to somebody at a school or something.
And then let's say, okay, so he has a student, and that's the thing is my version is almost like 1984 then in my head, because it's like, okay, so he comes across a student who's talented like he was, but also a problem like he was, right? And he sees the kid going, it just turns into a mundane fucking sequel.
Yeah, but do you think, is that going to go the way of like he's trying to help the kid, then he just realizes he's still not all that good himself, and then he just makes the kid even worse?
That's a good question, because otherwise the only way I could see it would be like more like a Good Will Hunting thing. We already have Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, but Good Will Hunting mixed with psychopaths, and
right,
he's really a sociopath. He's a textbook like full. I don't know. Less
script. I mean, come on, man, do your job here. What do you got for us? What do you think he could have done with something like that?
I got a title: Clockwork Orange Recycled, and go.
Clockwork Orange: The Tortilla Fields.
It is in the movie.
I almost said something worse. So but that was after Mike said that. So I was gonna say Clockwork Orange Pickers, but
wow, wow.
Mike liked it though.
Wow.
Oh my god, I want to do a meme of that, but I suck at memes.
Some Mexican guy holding out an orange, just like Alex.
Wait, but with the mask in there and straight jackets and shit.
Well, no, he's got to be in the white outfit with the bowler hat.
But he's holding out an orange instead of a knife.
Outfit.
But he's holding out an orange instead of a knife. Yeah.
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 Well, the whole point of a Clockwork Orange is that on the outside of an orange, it looks firm and strong, and on the inside, it's mushy. So, what happens to an orange when it gets old? It's just going to rot and turn.
Oh yeah, it's a very
nasty.
That's why I said you could never really do a justified sequel to it.
Because he's a psychopath. He's utterly insane, and he does whatever he wants, right? So you could have, even after he chose to be good, he could just as easily flip the script and choose to be not so good anymore because he finds it boring.
And we had this.
He doesn't want to be a lewdy.
The other night, I had it with Robert Meyer Burnett. He was gracious enough to have me on for one of his midnight discussions because he wanted to talk about Clockwork Orange coming to 4K, and we had this very discussion about how the movie is about this completely horrible person, but yet you gravitate towards him, and by the end you're actually like worried about him, even though the people that are about to do shit to him are completely justified in getting their revenge.
True. You know why? Because he's brilliantly intelligent and he has tremendous amounts of charisma.
And that's all because of Malcolm McDowell. And that's where I said that night, I'm like, it's all because it was the perfect casting. If you casted anybody else in that role, I don't think it would have worked.
They would have fumbled the lines, man.
Well, if you would have got like who else around that period would have they probably got? Either like what's his face who was an Alien and Elephant Man and stuff. What's his name?
Oh crap.
You know who I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, he passed away recently.
Yeah.
Hurt.
William Hurt.
William Hurt.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the only other one I could probably think of, maybe Roddy McDowall, but he might have been too old at that time. So, like, again, I'm trying to think of anybody in that age group, and that nobody else could have done it but Malcolm. It was like he was just there.
He hit it out of the park.
Exactly. Like that was the key to that entire.
I think that he had a little input into the script as well, because in the book it says, I know this is like nerdy and shit, but what you got back home, play your records on portable pathetic picnic spinners, and in the movie it's players, and I think he changed it to players just because it was another P for more alliteration. It's a little thing.
Yeah, from what I remember from the novel, they didn't change much, and the author liked the ending so much that's why he cut off his ending, and he's just like, fuck it.
Yeah, because you know what it was? They thought that in America they wouldn't like it if he had chosen to be good. They wanted him to become like he was at the beginning of the movie, to go full circle back the way he was, so there could be some more of this character.
Well, it's more so that the reader wants, and the viewer, when it comes to the film, wants hope. That even though we hate what this person is, we still want the hope that that you can rise above being brainwashed and. And
that's another thing. That's why the book has 21 chapters. It's not even a novel; it's a novella because it doesn't have enough pages to be a novel.
Well, all I know is this. I know this. I know Kevin Smith needs to go back and read that book.
Oh, have you ever seen the movie?
Oh, I love the book. It's so good.
But hell yeah, I've seen the movie.
Okay, good. I was going to say, so you at least know what we're talking about, right?
Hell yeah, dude.
Because like the book, it had 21 chapters because 21 represented the age of maturity. Plus, it was evenly divided into sevens.
Yeah, well, 3 parts of 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even get
so it didn't make sense in the American version, essentially, but it was still awesome.
I mean, I tried to get into Kubrick at a younger age and I couldn't.
Oh, he's so deep. Like the more you learn about him, it's just like he thought about shit all day long while he was making these movies.
But he is quickly becoming like, between him and Tarantino are like my 2 favorites right now.
Pay attention to what he does with colors.
Oh, yes.
Color is huge with Kubrick.
And to just finish answering your question, Brian, I mean, I'm going to get everybody's kind of quick take too on this. I think he would definitely kind of, going off of what he was doing with Eyes Wide Shut, and then his next projects were going to be like AI and stuff like that. He doesn't generally tend to keep going back to the same genre, right? Like he always seems to go somewhere else. So
Clockwork Orange was a bunch of
name 2 of his movies that are the same.
2001 was obviously 2001 was a lot of things.
AI would have been his first time coming back to the science fiction.
Yeah, because even Dr. Strangelove is a comedy.
Oh, Dr. Strangelove is so good with Peter Sellers playing 4 roles. Oh my god!
Shining is his actual horror film, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Clockwork Orange is his comment on society, and it's a
that's technically it's a political
thriller kind of thing, in a way. Yeah. And then that's a better word for it than probably, because a lot of people shove it into sci-fi horror. I'm like, where do they get that shit from? Just because it's minorly futuristic, and even at that point, it wasn't.
Yeah,
Well, it's like an alternative reality.
The
So to speak.
Ludovico technique, those that's 1940s tech. Except they used acid, so that's 1960s.
I thought that was kind of like, isn't that where steampunk shit really kind of came back into the vernacular again?
I'm not sure on that one, but maybe.
I don't know.
Because
the first time I ever saw steampunk was honestly with Wild Wild West, and that's probably way after it was popular.
That's what the Droog's outfits kind of reminded me of. Is kind of that steampunk look.
In the book, they were completely different.
Yeah, I know.
They're kind of more like a Frenchman's military outfit from the 1700s.
But you guys were talking about shit from the 40s, so that's why I was wondering if maybe that's where Kubrick drew inspiration from. Was
I don't know who. That's one thing I don't know is where the movie costume.
I can't wait till the Blu-ray
came from out. Because the movie costumes are the costume, man. They're so cool.
I mean, I've got the older one, but I'm hoping there's some new stuff on this new one coming out. I even ordered the UK version. Xenobit says, I'm sorry, Culture. What do you think Kubrick would be up to now?
Wow. I think he would probably do I don't know, maybe like an adventure film, like something like a surfing adventure film, or he probably would have like maybe like a disaster film, like some maybe something,
you're right, especially with the the thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see him doing a beautiful disaster,
That's probably what it would be called too.
Beautiful disaster, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's just God dang. I mean, just what?
But he would make it a movie about where we have to like destroy half of humanity to survive or something like. That's the kind of movie Kubrick would make.
Yeah,
right?
a choice.
Yeah,
There's always a choice.
He would take your dystopian and he would ruin it in a minute.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. But I have to duck.
Yeah, you do. And I'm gonna plug the stream that you're gonna be going to here soon because we're gonna be wrapping up.
Well,
so throw that link in the chat.
I'm glad you're back home safe and sound, bro.
Well, thank you, and I'm gonna keep saying it. You guys all have to come out next time, or I will be mad. So.
There's gonna be something sooner than later, I'm sure.
And the only thing I want to say is I don't actually know if we're gonna be on YouTube or Twitch, but I'm headed over to hang out with the Orders board. We're gonna do a Vegas post hangover stream, so we'll see how that goes. So.
A lot of Gatorade.
Well, as soon as you have the link, hop back in here because I'm pretty sure you got a blue wrench. You go ahead and share the link when you get back.
Sounds great. Thanks, brother. You guys have a great night. Right. Thank you to the chat. You guys are awesome. Love you all. I'm out of here. Peace.
Thank you, Culture. We're going to start wrapping this up, but we're not done yet. We got a couple.
Can I just say one more thing about Kubrick?
Absolutely.
There's always been the one thing I
forgot to ask Mike too. We got to ask Mike what he wanted. Yeah.
Well, I would have. I mean, I'm an Eyes Wide Shut guy. That actually was my favorite movie.
That's a scary movie.
And it is. And what it did for me is it put me on a quest, which I'm still on, to learn more and more about how completely and totally warped these Hollywood types really are.
True.
I would have loved to have seen him do something even more beyond that took us to where what he really knew and what he really knows goes on. I think that would have been fascinating.
That's heavy, man.
Yeah. Well, you called on me, Jesse.
Heavy, Doc.
I mean, I have these moments of brilliant flashes, and then you remind me I don't know how to use Discord.
Yeah. Well, it's like you could do all that, but it's like a Game Boy. But like the one thing that I never liked about Kubrick being associated with his name was that a lot of people claim that he did the video faking the moon landing.
You'd never do that.
Well, not only that, but if he did, don't you think it looked just a little bit better?
Exactly. That's why. No, Jesse brings up a great fucking point. Like, I never believed that horse shit because if Kubrick did it, it would have looked so much more realistic.
Yeah. And there'd be aliens and shit.
Yeah, exactly. And they would look.
There would have been some sort of hidden messaging within the shots. Because that's one of the things like Kubrick does when you take a look at like his color schemes and choices. You're like, oh, these are conveying different character emotions, and this is the message of us getting inside the characters as they're speaking in this certain thing. Like there's a whole level of depth to what Kubrick has done in his films that like. My favorite part about Dr. Strangelove is the entire incident is a result of a guy who is with a woman who decided to do something kinky in bed.
True.
And
like that's the whole. That's why the general's so huge on like preserving our unique fluids. It's like
it
you
is.
know what I love about that movie?
I
Put
fucking love that
Operation
movie.
Paperclip right out in front of everybody.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That's true. That's a good one. Good point. Good
I
point. Good point.
love it. See, that's the thing is that and Clockwork Orange are constantly battling in my brain and my heart of hearts as to which is my favorite Kubrick movie.
See, now you guys got me thinking about Peter Sellers, who is also a genius.
Oh
No,
God!
that's like Slim Pickens is in that, and he's amazing.
Yes, and he plays the part that
Peter Sellers
was supposed
faked
to
a broken leg to not do.
Because he couldn't hit, and I think that the whole reason was he didn't think he could do a convincing enough Southern accent.
Yeah.
Xenobit says I can watch Shang-Chi in 4K. Midnight's Edge doesn't even stream at 1080p. Fail. Well, you're wrong on 2 counts here.
Yeah, Shang-Chi's not going to be on 4K for at least 45
days after it's released. That's point number 1. So yes, technically you can after that, but the main channel is in 1080p. I'm just a cheap bastard and can't afford the full package for StreamYard, so I'm stuck at 720p. Although I have brought it up to Andre that since we can attach other channels, maybe we'll just combine them. But that StreamYards kind of lets you do that, and it'd probably make everything easier on all of us, especially me and Mike, or Mike and I.
Yep.
However you say it. Xenobit says, if the investors left Hollywood, do you think the SJWs would hang on to the millionaires' plans as they leave the poor souls in cabal?
Well, in order for the investors to leave Hollywood, that'd mean every bank in California would have to leave Hollywood.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: is Hollywood, and I brought this up many a time. It's like one of our biggest exports, if not our biggest export. On top of, it's one of our biggest industries in this country, money wise, and the employment that it does do. Even though there is a high unemployment rate among actors and writers and certain other aspects of it, it is still a very lucrative business, and there's a lot of people that work in it. Like, it's a very big business. And I don't think Hollywood's going anywhere, but what we are seeing is people like Chapek. And if he is doing what we're saying here and what Script has predicted and Cameron has predicted, then that's the beginning. And that's the kind of people you need to see a change in. And we kind of saw a little bit with HBO Max, with Kalar and the guys at AT&T who are like, we just don't give a shit. We just want to make money. Right. And that's why we got things like the Snyder Cut. So, I mean, if you want to continue to see those things happening, that's what we can hope for. And I know hope is not a strategy, to quote a very, very smart man. But it's the best we got right now. Some what did you call it earlier?
Hopium.
Yeah, we need some. We need a little hopium right now. So there you go. I hope that can answer your question. Unless anybody else wants to say anything to that part.
Nope.
No, that's good.
I was just watching the trailer from one of these super chats.
Oh, okay. Fred Sacco says Huxley's Brave New World. I don't know if that's reference to, but
no, it's a reference to which book Kubrick would have done.
Oh, yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, okay.
That would have been very good.
That's a good choice.
That's a good one.
No, you know what movie Kubrick would have done? Harrison Bergeron by Kurt Vonnegut Jr. There's been a bunch of other people who've made like little smaller films of that, but nothing on the level that could compare to what Kubrick could put out.
Well, I know between what like things you've said, what I've seen in documentaries, things that like R&B has said, and other people, like he had a shit ton of projects that he had in the works for years that he just never got to. So I mean, I'm sure one day they'll probably do a documentary on all the things that he might have done. That would be an interesting one. Xenobit comes in again. Holy cow, you're like the sponsor of the show today, it seems like. I'm a day behind 4. Was Feige defending Bob Chapek?
No.
Not that I know of.
The only defense Feige has put out there is to Simu Liu after his tweet about being called the experiment.
Yeah. And that is a whole nother can of worms. And Andre already did a video on that.
Yep.
And again, I don't want to get too deep into that topic.
Kubrick would do Cruella too. You bastard.
Oh, fuck no, he wouldn't. He would have made something like Cruella 1, though, if you would have. Now, see, that's the thing. If you would have ever talked him into doing something commercial like that, it would have to be something to where he'd be like, yeah, I'll do something, but it's going to be different. right? And he would have made you the best motherfucking Cruella movie you ever saw.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He wouldn't do shit without having complete creative control. Because
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
get away from me.
that's my favorite. One of my favorite stories was Kirk Douglas told it. I don't remember verbatim, so I'm paraphrasing a lot of it, obviously. But like the short version is they lost their first director on
Spartacus, right?
Spartacus, and he had worked with Kubrick on Paths of Glory. So he's like, okay, I know this guy. We'll get him in here. And basically, Douglas was directing in the meantime, right? Well, he called Kubrick up, and Kubrick's like, I don't want to do that shit. And he's like, well, trust me, you do it, you love it, blah, 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 blah. You'll get paid a big bunch of money. It's a big studio picture, all that shit. And Kubrick's like, all right, fine, I'll do it, but I want complete control. He's like, sure, you can have whatever you want. And Kirk didn't realize the mistake he had fucking made.
Well, Spartacus ended up being a great movie, so.
Because I think they even got, I don't know if they got into a fist fight at one point, but they got into a lot of knockdown, drag out fights.
Wait, a fist fight?
I don't know, but they got into a lot of fights because you had Kubrick, who had one way of wanting to do things, and Douglas, who was like, this is his picture, this is, it's his vehicle, and he kind of felt like I'm in control, but he had to keep being reminded that he gave Kubrick complete control. And so, like, the guy he worked with was a completely different guy because he didn't have all the control on Paths of Glory. He did here. And from that moment on, I don't think Kubrick never let anybody, never made a movie after that without complete control either, from my recollection. So has something to say about the man. E. Clay Thomas, speaking of men, we have good ones in the chat, along with some very lovely women as well. Have you seen the trailer for Prisoners of Ghostland yet?
Yeah, I just did, and it looks sick as fuck.
Jesse just watched that for you. It looks very interesting. Thoughts? What's your thoughts, Jesse? You just watched it.
Oh, wow. First off, imagine if you took Escape from New York, made it bigger area, mixed in a little Mad Max modern. A little bit of Battle Royale, I think, in there. A little bit of Mean Guns from back in the day. Plus Nicolas Cage in a badass hot rod and leather jumpsuit.
Oh, it's the new
kicking
Nicolas
the shit
Cage
out of
movie.
motherfuckers.
Well, that's all you had to say.
But he's got, not only does he have the explosive implant, he's got explosives around his neck, around his hands, and strapped to his balls.
Wait a minute. What about the pig? Is the pig in it?
The pig has passed away. Spoiler alert.
Oh.
Good God, Gertie. Flex Honcho says, first time on your stream. Oh, I'm sorry for that. Really enjoyed the Hollywood discussion. Well, I'm glad you did. And that's what we do here. If you want to get even more nerdy Hollywood discussion, check out Midnight's Edge in the morning. And if you want in Espanol, where can they find that, Mike?
Tuesdays and Thursdays, 12 noon Eastern, 9 o'clock Pacific. I hosted it this morning with Andre. You know what Andre did to me this morning?
What he did?
He freaking, I didn't know about the He-Man comic book, the reorigin story of Skeletor, the reimagining, whatever. Anyway, he freaking showed me the comic book live and I didn't even know about it. Complete with like, they had, oh God, anybody who wants to see a good laugh, you don't have to speak Spanish because Andre did in English. Go rewatch Midnight's Edge Espanol, the show this morning. It's only about an hour and I think 15 minutes. And what he did is he brought it up live on this. Remember how like that Friday, he made me go watch episode 5 of He-Man live on screen while you were there? You remember that? The script laughs. You remember how he did that, Tom? Is Tom there?
Vaguely.
I remember that.
Anyway, well, he did it to me again. He ambushed me, and needless to say, we had one of these.
Of course. Red alert. Red alert.
Yeah, we had a rant alert. So Mexican Iron Man went off.
Oh, Lord.
I think it's the first time I've ever cursed. I cursed in English and in Spanish on the Midnight Edge channel, and Andre let me go. It was hilarious.
Oh, he don't mind that. As long as we can pass the first.
I mean, it would have been nice if he. I mean, it's awful what they're doing to Skeletor. It's like Skeletor. Oh, don't even get me started. Anyway, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 12 noon.
Shit, yeah.
Midnight Edge Espanol, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 12 noon. I think I'm co-hosting this Thursday. I'm not sure. I got to talk to Andre, but yeah.
There you go. So with that, Script, you doing anything anytime soon?
No, I'm probably just gonna go turn in early.
Did Culture come in yet with that link for wherever Ords?
No, I don't think. I might be over on Twitch because I don't see it on my.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it here.
Board here.
Oh. Otherwise,
I'm still not on the Twitch because I'm.
It's like Umbrella Guy is live too, talking about Amber Turd.
Dude, he's been all over it. His last 2 videos are awesome.
Oh, the Dark Council's live.
That girl's just fucking train wreck.
Well, in the meantime, until you guys figure out where Culture's at,
they're on Twitch.
Oh, they're on Twitch. Okay, well here's
I'm 99% sure.
Here's a link for Dark Council over on Fatal J's channel. Tell them we sent you if you go there, and then if somebody can find the Twitch link, we'll share that, and you can go there if you want.
I've got Ord's Twitch link. I'll put in the chat, but I don't see any video popping up yet.
Okay,
can you say that in Skeletor voice?
Skeletors from the barrio.
Nice. Good one.
I'm not wearing a sombrero.
Why are there so many of me now?
Why are they having a piñata party in that comic book?
I used to be unique.
Damn it, Beastman.
Everybody's insane.
Dash D says, haven't heard about the Hey Macho, your thoughts? Oh, I did. Yes, I love that trailer.
What's that?
It's great. It's Clint Eastwood's new movie.
Oh.
It's about God, what was he, like an old rodeo guy, I think? And he gets hired to go get this guy's son out of jail in fucking Mexico.
Oh. Gotcha.
It's based on an old book. It's a script that's been kicking around for years.
It's just been a script that's been kicking around for 50 years.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. I think you were the one talking about a script, if I remember right.
I was one of the guys talking about it, yeah. But no, that's everybody tried to get this thing made, but Clint Eastwood finally managed to pull it off.
It looks good. And then Culture was here earlier saying on his show that I think Clint's going to do another Western next, which if that's the case, I'm very intrigued.
The Old Man with No Name?
You know, he does know how to make a pretty film.
Fucking Unforgiven is one of the greatest movies ever made.
Oh, God.
Oh, and the whole premise for why he's doing it and why they hire him is so brutal, too.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just the whole movie's perfect from first frame to end. That's one of those movies where it doesn't matter. If I catch it even midway through, I got to finish it. It's one of those movies. You just can't not. And it's probably my favorite Western. I'd have to say easy.
Yeah, how old is Clint now? Because he is still just as badass as ever.
He's the same age as William Shatner, pretty much.
91-ish, I think, yeah.
Why don't they do like an old guys Expendables with them?
Like an old guys, that'd be awesome.
He's only a few days younger than William Shatner.
Really?
Yeah, he was born May 31st. Yeah. William Shatner, I think, is May 16th.
There you go. Neither one of them are like acting.
I'd love that, man. Just even if he just had both of them, it could be just William Shatner getting Clint Eastwood into trouble all the time.
I bet you
trying to have fun.
I bet you the trick is pussy.
And March 22.
Because both of those guys could sure get the pussy.
Yeah, still, man. They got Viagra. Fuck it.
Clint, like, he just probably has to look at a woman, and she's just like, okay.
Well, Tom, you just have to like sign on to one of the channels, and then they come a flocking.
Well, he did tour the bridges of Madison County.
Yeah, see, he knows how to play that. He knew what he was doing. He's like, I'll make one for the ladies.
But then again, I kind of remember him wrapping a necktie around a girl's neck. Never mind.
Oh, he's had his rough days. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but he's a man's man. He never shied away from that shit. I mean, sure, he makes movies a little differently now than he used to. Have you seen his last few movies? They've all been pretty good. The only one I haven't seen was the one he wasn't in. That was it Richard Jewell or whatever it was called, or something like that. I don't know. It was that one based on a true story about the guy. I don't know. It had a lot of controversy around it. I never got a chance.
I love the baseball movie he did. It was freaking.
Which one was that one called?
Something The Curve or about the.
Oh,
curve.
I've got that one. Yeah, and then the other one I liked was The Mule, and everybody said that was dumb and bad. I'm like, are you kidding me?
It was great.
It was great.
That one was so awesome.
And so was the other one.
I saw that with my niece in San Bernardino. Man, that was so good.
Gran Torino was also really good.
Yep.
Dash D says, good call, Jesse. Morgan Freeman can be the lawyer. There you go.
Morgan Freeman can read a telephone book and people will pay him.
Hey, Aaron's.
Yep. I think he did a joke album with that on a sketch somewhere.
Is
Wall Street 555-626-8147. Angelo Aronson. Anyway, I don't know how good my Morgan Freeman is, but I can try.
Well,
Vodka
there's
Twinkie.
ETEP has a great Morgan Freeman and Cleveland Brown.
Back when I was a
I can do
child,
Cleveland.
the world was a lot slower place.
That's not too bad.
I have to work on it.
I still say that the one remake I want to see, I don't know if you heard this yet, Script, but the Oh God trilogy just came out on Shout Factory. And the second and third one are all right.
I like Tombstone better than Unforgiven, man.
Tombstone's my second close to because Unforgiven is just that one notch. It's just because it's just that one notch better. But like anyway, to the other point,
I'm with Jesse on Tombstone.
Yeah, well, I can understand that.
Tombstone has some pretty graphic violence in there. That
Doc Holliday's a pimp,
but no, Doc Holliday is a pimp.
Yeah, it's a tough call. Like I love both of them, so like that's a tough one. But no, like I was thinking, like I would love to see. I mean, you'd probably I don't know how if you'd even have to worry about getting permission or getting like Imagine Entertainment involved, since Warner owns the rights probably still to Oh God. But I would love to see a remake of Oh God with like Paul Rudd in the John Denver part, but Morgan Freeman playing the God role. Basically the same, like he's God like he was in Bruce Almighty. But since God, you can't copyright God, I don't even think Warner Brothers would have to make a deal with them.
Disney would try.
Unless they would. I just think it would be an amazing remake.
So,
I mean,
this would be like part of because there's 3 George Burns God movies, right?
Just the first one. This would be remaking the first one with John Denver. Yeah.
I know there was a third. I thought there was only
the third one's pretty good actually. It's Oh God.
My video store only had
one of them.
2.
One of them he gets put on trial, right?
That's technically the first and second one, kind of. Well, the first one it's actual trial, and then the second one, where's it? The second one they're in court. I'm trying to remember now. Because the first, they're all really good. That's the problem. But like the first story is pretty straightforward, and it would be easy to remake with somebody like Paul Rudd in that role, and then I would love to see Morgan Freeman play the God role again. I just think it'd be great. And the story needs to be updated. Let's be real. The movie didn't age that well. Nobody remembers it.
No, it doesn't. No, people these days would never watch it.
I mean, I love it. It's the trilogy's close to my heart. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, I think you could update it very well, especially with the world we live in with like Walmart and stuff.
You know how everybody's always remaking movies? Why don't they just go easy and do The Great Outdoors?
That was perfect the way it was.
You could put literally anybody in The Great Outdoors that's popular and comedic wise. I don't care if you want to go, like give Ice Cube a new fucking thing or just give it to some other guy who's, I don't know.
No Vaseline.
Yeah, back in the day, he was no Vaseline. Now he's road trip guy. Road trip dad at the soccer game. It's amazing what weed does to people.
Well, I mean, the original book of Oh God, from my recollection, is way different from the movie anyway. And he's like the John Denver part is much different too. But like, I'd say just remake the original film, same kind of concept, just update everything around it and have Morgan Freeman play God. And Xenobit says, did you thank the Film Actors Guild for everything they did for Hollywood? Matt Damon.
You want to shorten that up for us, Tom?
The Film Actors Guild. No. Did you hear
don't.
the story about Alec Baldwin? He was pissed because they didn't have him come in.
He is a piece of shit.
Yeah,
Wait,
but I
what
gotta give him
happened?
credit.
Wait, what?
I gotta give him credit though for the Team America thing. He wasn't pissed at his portrayal. He was pissed that they didn't let him come in and do the voice himself because he was more than willing to.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he was more than willing to poke fun at himself.
Well, come on.
He's like, I know I'm a piece of shit asshole, the prick.
He's like, why did you guys ask me to come? He's like, Matt and Trey get that all the time. They get people who are more than willing to come on and poke.
Maybe they didn't really want that because they're both chill and normal, and he likes to try to beat up people over parking spaces.
They don't like to do that. Like the few times they've actually had celebrities come on, unless they play themselves in a real randomness kind of role, which was just a few episodes at first, and they're like, no, we quit doing that because it became stupid. It felt like we were trying to pull a Simpsons. So he's like, what we did do is like when our buddies like George Clooney would come in and say like, oh, I want to do a voice. We're like, okay, fine. You can play the gay dog.
Yes. And Tom Hanks played a turkey, didn't he?
Exactly, I think so. Yeah, I mean, the movie,
Thanksgiving
they had a
episode.
few
That's
cameos.
just a random turkey.
They had a few cameos in the movie, of course, and they've had a few voices since then. But like randomly, though, they don't often have celebrity voices, especially anymore. I'm trying to think of the last time they've had a celebrity on. I think Elton John made another cameo not too long ago, and that was it.
Wow, that was really him?
Oh yeah, he's been on there at least once or twice.
Holy shit.
Yeah. He even wrote that song for the Chef Aids album. Yeah, he likes them.
You ever seen Elton John's house?
I would love to.
It's pretty nice.
Wait, why have you seen the inside of his house?
Because it was on TV, and this dude lives in. This dude, Elton John's got a better.
I didn't know if you're on one of your bush hunts or so your bush expeditions. I mean, I don't know.
No, but there used to be this thing called VH1, and they used to have content.
Okay, I like this though. Stephen Otten brings this whole thing to a perfect circle with this comment here. Coolest way to die. Clint Eastwood shoots you while Morgan Freeman narrates. I could feel the burning of the bullet in my chest as my heart slowly stopped beating.
Your last words are, put this on my Instagram.
This is no time to die, said James Bond.
The world is not enough.
Xenobit says Samuel Jackson should play an old guy. I wouldn't be against that. Like
that's
that would
an
be
aggressive
my
god, though.
Like if Morgan Freeman was all like, "No, I've played enough gods," and then like Samuel Jackson would be like, "Hell yes, I'm God, and I'll get the word out there. I'll smite some motherfuckers."
I don't need to tell another human being. I'll just do it myself.
Yeah, fuck you and your shit. I'm coming to smite everybody, and I'll bring the fire and fury with me. Dash D says, I liked Heartbreak Ridge. That's a good one. It was hokey, but I watched it 5 times a year. He had that patch in there between probably mid to early 70s to the late 80s where he did a lot of those studio kind of pictures. He did like the Every Which Way But Looses and Heartbreak Ridge and a few others that were clearly movies that, but actually, if you watch those movies still outside of the second Every Which Way, Heartbreak Ridge has a lot of heart. It's not just in the title. It still holds up very, very, very fucking well, regardless of its time period being made. And you can tell it's kind of a little bit more of a paycheck probably for Clint, but I don't know, I enjoy it quite a bit. It's a good movie. Clint's a great filmmaker. I've not seen a bad Clint Eastwood movie, especially one that he's had anything to do with making. You know what I mean?
No. No, I think he's got a solid track record.
You guys are going to convince me that he should be in my top 5. He probably is.
How is he not in your top 5?
He probably. Well, let's see. You got like Tarantino. You've got Kubrick, right? You got Scorsese. So right there's 3 out the door.
Well, you got room because you kicked Spielberg off because we hold him responsible for KK and JJ.
Sadly, he's still in my top 5.
No,
he still makes good movies.
I prefer Steven Spielberg.
He still made good movies.
Jaws, Close Encounters, man. You can't get. Oh man,
Raiders. Like Schindler's List is a fantastic film.
Jurassic, man. Right? Like, there's too many. Spielberg's got way too many. But yeah, I guess Clint would probably be like my 5th, maybe. I do like De Palma though too.
Brian De Palma's movies. Awesome. He hasn't been himself for a while now, but I know. Jeez.
And even early Burton for that matter.
Yeah.
Early Burton, Mel Gibson, I still like as a director.
Yeah, Tim Burton got so repetitious, though.
Oh, speaking of Gibson, though, jumping off of there, what's his name? George Miller's another great one, too, yeah. Then you got Romero, and you got... I didn't bring in Carpenter. Carpenter would actually probably be in my top 5, and Donner. Yeah. Because it's hard to ignore Carpenter, because every fucking movie he makes is good, too, pretty much. Even his shit movies are good.
Dark Star, yeah, man. Like, you can watch
Dark Star so much as Ghost of Mars, I was going to say.
well, both of those, like, they're kind of bookending his pantheon of movies, really.
He did make some other movie after that, but I've never seen it, so.
Oh, I can't remember. I think I know.
We looked it up that one day, and I'm like, what the fuck? When did he make this? And we're like, oh, whatever. Dash D says, Eastwood would never play in an army movie and not give it respect and call it.
Well, he did the movie when he was
Iwo Jima.
Yeah, of course not. Oh yeah, he did both sides of that.
He did both sides of that. Yeah.
Yeah. No. And that's what I'm saying. He did it with heart. Even if you want to call it one of his more commercial films, like, yeah, that's my point exactly. Even Dirty Harry, for that fucking matter. Like, those are the epitome of his commercial films right there. Like, I mean, I still. Oh, if he wants to end his career on a high note for me, that's what I've always said is give me a final Dirty Harry movie where Harry Callahan gets, just call it Harry Callahan.
He's old as fuck and nobody's
Old as
managed to
fuck.
kill him yet.
Somebody's got to drag his ass out of retirement because they don't know how to deal.
Oh,
almost like a
dude.
Demolition Man
Yeah,
kind of thing. They don't know how to deal with something. It's like you need Dirty Harry.
That'd
You
be
know?
fucking so good,
Right?
dude. And
Yeah,
he
but
don't
there's no way in hell. This is gonna have to be like Dirty Harry's gonna have to be like me. He left California because it was woke as hell, and then he moved to South Carolina where they have like
he's got a
commitment and they got rights, and then Dirty Harry can do the job that needs to be done, ladies and gentlemen.
What about it's so woke
to that dump?
What about if it's so woke that he has to put everybody to sleep?
That's what I'm saying. He's got to go. Well, what's going on right now?
Well, what would Callahan be doing?
He'd be like,
come back.
Hey,
goddamn hippies.
He'd be like, you're an SJW.
Make it basically falling down, starring Dirty Harry.
Hey, you SJW.
You would have to make it like the one case he never solved, right? Like the one murder case or whatever he never solved, and it comes back to haunt him, kind of thing. That's the only way you can really get him involved. Otherwise, it'd have to be like somebody who's copycatting like the original Scorpion Killer or whatever the fuck it was in the first movie or something like that. You know what I mean? I'd hate to go that route, but yeah.
Scorpio Killer. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or somebody come up with, unless somebody could come up with something better. Otherwise, like, that's the only thing I could think of, really.
My favorite one was the Deadpool because it had Jim Carrey lip syncing Welcome to the Jungle, and it also had Slash.
Yeah, well, the best part is, though, you have this whole thing where he's like, I'm not going to just tag along and be a dog. Either I can use a gun or I'm not going. You know, like, so he can get back in on the action, you know, and get his badge back and all that shit, or temporary.
You know, he's got a box under his bed full of
It don't
guns.
matter.
Well, if
but
anything, it would be Dirty Harry becomes a private eye after he retires from the force.
Or Vigilante.
Didn't he kind of do that movie? What was that one not too long ago where he played like a PI in it, I thought.
Oh.
Like mid 2000s, I thought it was, unless I'm thinking of something else. Anyway, Xenobit says, you forgot to mention Tommy Wiseau. No, I did not forget to mention him. He needs to make a couple of more movies. Then I'll mention him. And Francis Ford Coppola is another great one. Darth Scipio, can't forget that.
Yep.
Can't forget him, I should say. I started watching Apocalypse Now again the other day. It's so hard to fucking quit watching. It's like I got to go to bed. It's like never get on the goddamn boat. Dash D says Dirty Harry finally kills the Zodiac Killer or Anita Sarkeesian. Either's good.
Okay.
I'm down with that. Yeah. Alex the Greatest says, wow, that sounded like we caught up to Jules Winfield, after walking the earth, and you will know my name is the Lord. Exactly. When I lay my vengeance upon thee. Exactly. Like, I would not be adverse to Samuel Jackson playing God. That would not be he'd be a very scary God.
I would like to see Clint Eastwood actually play the devil.
Yes. And George Lucas, he's up there, but the thing is, George didn't direct a lot of movies.
No, he's actually considered better as a producer than he is a director because, well, let me put it to you this way. So in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, there's that one scene with the little kid who elicits like 4 different reactions. And in order for Steven Spielberg to do that, he had to have various people dress up in different costumes. Do you know what George Lucas did for Jake Lloyd just to try and have him deliver a convincing line of "You're an angel" or "You're the most beautiful"? He said, "Do it better,
faster, more intense."
What does that even mean?
Well, again, George is not very good with people.
I think he's on the spectrum. I'll be 100% honest. I do.
Do it better? What does that even mean?
Well, I mean, I think he's actually like autistic. Like he does not know how to communicate to people.
I think I've read that in an
like
article.
I've read enough about him, read enough books about him, read enough interviews about him, enough shit between him and his wife, even the blowouts between him and Harrison Ford, to where it's pretty obvious that he just, like, they even made the joke that he lost his voice and they didn't even notice.
Well, he was sick, yeah.
Yeah, because he didn't know how to direct. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing. He got lucky on American Graffiti that, you know, all those guys were professional actors. Like, really, if you look at that.
Well, they knew how to give a performance. Yeah,
exactly.
Like you had Ron Howard there, who's been
Ron
acting for
Howard,
10 years at that point.
what's her face from Laverne and Shirley, and you had fucking Paul Lamont, and you had fucking Harrison Ford in there already, who had already done some bit parts and work. Like, I mean, again, all these guys were not veterans, but they were. Richard Dreyfuss was a professional and a half at that point, probably. I mean, he probably really took himself too seriously at that point. He's at that point yet. But like, yeah, I mean, because that was just before Jaws, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, so that was just before Jaws, and then he had American Graffiti and Jaws back to back almost. He had Duty Kravitz in the middle there, and that's why he did Jaws. But yeah, because he thought he sucked at it. I don't know. Richard Dreyfuss is one of the most underused actors in Hollywood. I said it. I don't give a shit.
Well, he picks stuff that he really likes to do, or that's something inventive.
They tried canceling him last year.
Well, you know what's funny is that the only reason he decided to do that Sharknado or Piranha thing is because he gets to die in
because he plays the same part. Yeah, dude,
like that's the only. Like, that's what they pitched it to him. It's like you just get to
that
die
was
by
the
like
best part of that movie.
He's like, I'll do that, sure. His niece right now is kind of stirring up a lot of trouble. She's a good actress, but she's political. So
yeah, well, and they tried canceling him last year anyway. Dash D said Hitchcock, another great one, had great vision, little one-dimensional maybe. I don't know about that either. I mean, I would sure love to hear your argument on that, but I mean, God, Hitchcock is one of those where it's like he's like director 101, right? Like he was doing it before everybody, or stealing from the best, right? Like everybody remembers Psycho and doesn't remember the other movie that came before it, but it was because
I know what movie it was. Crap.
The POV killer kind of thing.
Is it POV killer one? It's a British film.
Yeah. And I can't think of it, but yeah, of course, that's the thing is you steal from shit that's good, and everybody remembers Psycho now, and everybody remembers The Birds, and everybody remembers Rear Window, and everybody, all his great South by Southwest or whatever the hell it's called. I can't remember the name of it now, but yeah, like I'm getting like I need to eat something. I have not ate all day.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, I get logy at that point. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, I can tell.
Steak will make him logy.
Mm-hmm. I love Kubrick and I love Hitchcock, though. He'd probably be a tough one to fight for my top 5 too. Did miss your previous super chat? I'm so sorry, Diego.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, 5.
Here it is. I did, and I did miss this one too. Some Spider Unlimited. Says I think the only bad one Clint did was the 1, 2, 3 Paris. Which one's that one?
What about the one with the orangutan?
Well, I said the second one was meh, but that was mainly not his fault so much as the characterization. Like my problem with this, well, I don't know. I mean, it might be his fault, but I don't know if he wrote those or not. Because like the chick in the second movie is like takes a total complete like 180 from the character she was in the first film. From my remembrance,
this would be a weird movie, but I like it. It is in the movie.
Not only is this in the movie, it's definitely in the movie. No backsies on that one, Diego. Dirty Harry meets Shaft. I'm game. I'm definitely game on that one. For sure.
Yep. Everybody would end up with the shit beaten out of them, and then they get shot.
Especially if you got like all 3 shafts there or whatever.
Yep.
And then we got this one. So, okay, I'm good caught up. I'm sorry, Diego. I did not mean to miss that. They jumped on me. But definitely a Dirty Harry and Shaft team up. I would definitely be down for that.
Because it's crazy.
Like box office fucking gold. You sent me a super chat. Okay, gotcha. We got it. Thank you so much for that 6. And I do not have you in a cage.
What?
But if you want to get in the cage, I mean, that's kind of kinky.
Like, yeah, if that's your thing, I guess. But
it's called a harness, really. I mean,
yeah.
No.
I thought a little rope action, maybe, but no.
There's a lot. There's many things.
Brian, actually, you might want to check out the talk that Robert and I had the other night because they brought up the whole Napoleon. There was another movie he decided to do instead, Barry Lyndon. I think that's the reason why he decided not to do that because there was another project that was.
There's another Napoleon project that was really well done. Waterloo.
Yeah, and I think it bombed, didn't it?
I think it bombed because of the length. It was a long movie, but it's a good movie if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen it. But yeah, whatever happened with that, he decided not to do. That's the short version, anyway.
Yeah, it's a very long story on that one.
Yeah, but that's definitely a question. You should write a letter into R&B. He'd love to probably answer that.
Oh, he would elaborate on that for a good 30 minutes.
Oh, we did a whole show about Kubrick the other night. I mean, we ventured all over the place. We started on kind of like we did here. Started on Clockwork and then ended up.
It's funny how that happens.
I would, Lindsay. I hear Napoleon. I think I want to see a Napoleon movie with that Napoleon.
I'd watch it.
Exactly. I'd watch that too.
I love how we cut the line.
Let's all at Ed Solomon be like Napoleon from Bill and Ted, but like a historical, but like an actual skirmish.
He wouldn't even let that little girl finish the last piece of ice cream.
What the slide? I don't think it's gonna work. No. He just trashes the whole thing. Napoleon Bonaparte. I love Napoleon in that movie. He's a dick.
Yeah.
Meow, 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 meow.
Stop swearing in French.
Where are you going? You need to pay. Pay? Buddy. I love that. What about De Palma? I did mention De Palma. Are we just doing top fives or are there specific hypothetical project? No, we're just waxing. Nothing specific. Ajax the greatest. We started with Kubrick, and as that happens to sometimes happen, like on Jesse's channel, you start talking about something, and then next thing you know, you're talking about rotary phones and milk.
Yes.
It just happens.
Speaking of milk, when I was a teenager, when I was 19, I worked at a grocery store, and this guy, I don't know where the fuck he was from. I think he was from Sweden or some shit. He comes in there and he asked me for 4% milk. I'm like, well, we got whole milk. We got 2% milk.
Wouldn't that be whole
milk? We
milk,
got skim milk. Yeah, but apparently 4% milk is whole milk.
That's what I was just thinking, yeah.
Where's the 3% milk?
That's a good point.
Right? The hell?
Maybe they just didn't sell. I don't know.
3%. Where is it? Anybody ever seen anything that's called 3% milk? No, because it doesn't exist.
I strongly advise not having 99% milk. That's a little thick.
Yeah, right. That's just like cheese.
Kind of. I mean, it's still liquid. Because I've worked on a farm before, and you take a sip of it because my boss is like, "No, try it. It's all right."
Well, it all has to do with the percentage of fat that's left.
Well, what was it? Just a big mouthful of cream?
It actually was kind of like milk cream. I mean, it was still liquidy, but just had
I've had
a kick to it.
That's straight out of the.
And then he told you it came out of the bowl.
I've had, yeah. Well,
we knew where the bowl was.
Gotta be careful with that.
The bowl was very far away. You weren't allowed to go near the bowl.
What about a Kingpin sequel? How about that? Can I get that? You can still use Vanessa Angel. I'm sure she looks good.
She looks all right. Yeah.
I don't know if there's demand for it because the movie didn't do that great in the box office.
Come on.
No,
who cares? Sadly, it's funny as shit.
It is funny.
It is the last good Farrelly Brothers movie, that's for sure.
Yeah, the bucket scene took a while to get her going,
but once I did, I milked the cow. I was like, we don't have a cow.
We do not have a cow, but we have a bull. We do everything twice as much as you people do. So that's why we do, or not twice as much, but we work 1/4 harder than normal folk.
Yeah, so he had extra frames. In his,
it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah,
you have to reduce the frames. 1.5 times harder. Yeah, it's 1.5 times.
1.5 times. Yeah, because instead of 10 frames, we got 14. Dash D says, forgot High Plains Drifter and Clips. Oh yeah. Well, not only that, Josie Wales.
That's the good one right there. Oh my God,
that's Josie Wales.
Oh, you just nailed me right there. That's
Drifter is my favorite. Personally.
I do like High Plains. I also what was the other ones he did? He
obviously did the Fistful of Dollars for a few dollars.
Yeah. I mean, after the Spaghettis, I'm talking about the ones that he did on his own because he did High Plains Drifter. He did. There's a couple in there. He had one in 85. Was that High Plains Drifter? No, there's another one he directed about 85 that was Western. What was that? Oh shit. I can't think of what it was. Oh, you're talking about Joey's talking about 2 Mules for Sister Sarah. That's a great. Oh, Pale Rider. That's the other one I was trying to think of. Yeah, Pale Rider. And then 2 Meals for Sister Sarah, I think, is coming out on 4K.
I know that Pale Rider was from the 80s.
What's either Pale Rider or High Plains Drifter? One of them is in the 70s and one of them's from the 80s.
Yeah, Drifter's gotta be from the 70s.
Then it's vice. Yeah, I knew it was one or the other. And then because he only made a handful after that. And yeah, Josie Wales and High Plains Drifter and Pale Rider and Unforgiven, I think, are his only westerns after that. After you, Joe Kidd, that's technically a western, yeah, but not really. It's Paint Your Wagon.
Pale Rider.
Shit. Paint Your Wagon. I don't know about that one though. That's probably one of his bad. Like he didn't make that though. That's
he was just in it.
He was just in it. But yeah, I think we're supposed to wrap up here anyway. I wanted
to expand my horizons.
Bronco Billy, that was another one, yeah. Or is that the one I was thinking of? Bronco Billy might be the one I was thinking of, not Joe Kidd. Joe Kidd was the other western he made, yeah. Pale Rider is the one he made in 85 then, yep. All right. Wow, he's been involved in over 76 movies. Yeah, he's been making movies for the most of his life.
Yep.
Yeah. Did he get started on Gunsmoke? Wasn't that one of his first big things?
Oh,
I
probably
believe so.
Lots of people got their start on Gunsmoke.
Yeah.
What was that war movie where he played Kelly?
Oh, Kelly's Heroes.
Kelly's Heroes. That movie is awesome. Have a bottle of booze. You're beautiful. Yeah, that was a good one, man.
I think I got that LP actually.
Really?
Or was it Rawhide? It was. I knew it was one of them. Was it Rawhide? It probably is. Rob's probably right. Rob Altus is probably right. Now we're jumping to Westworld with Yul Brynner.
Oh, the original Westworld movie is a classic.
Yes, thank you, Cancel Jeremy. That's what I couldn't remember which one. Joe Kidd is the real Western. Bronco Billy's where he played the performer. That's right. Thank you.
The Westworld movie from back in the day was just so funky and weird.
I love the original though.
It was well done though.
That's
hard.
Because because they showed you Westworld, they showed you Roman World, and then there's another one in the movie that they showed, I think, as well, or a little bit of. But yeah, just the chase scene with the black cowboy, so good.
So I'm saying, E-Clay, that's what I think the trick is. It's pussy. It's got to be. Between him,
Scott Eastwood's all right. He's got a ways to go to be his dad's level.
No. But I mean, like the fact that he had him when he was in his 50s. That's what I'm saying. That's the trick to being old and being like Clint and Shat and all those guys. I bet that's what it is. That's what keeps them young and active. And their brain active. Got to be suave with the ladies. Oh shit! All right, kids. Actually, it was Scott's younger than that, ain't he? I was just thinking he would be old. It would have been older than that, wouldn't he?
Well, Scott's what? I don't know. I can't remember what year Scott was born.
Because I think Scott's younger than me.
He is younger than you, yeah.
Yeah, so he would actually been even older than that, I think.
He's actually younger than me. He's 2 years younger than I am.
Yeah, if he's in his 90s now. So, yeah.
He would have been 55-ish, 55, 60.
50. Okay, you're right. He would have been his 50s. You're right. Yep. Okay, my math sucks. Math's racist, so I shouldn't have to learn it.
What?
It is racist.
No, it's not.
Math is totally racist.
No, it's not. How is that?
How do I reach these kids?
There's also Francesca Eastwood, who's a sister, she's 28.
Oh, wow. There you go. Future World is all right. Yeah, Cancel Jeremy brought that one up.
Yeah.
Is Clint? I can't believe Clint Eastwood is a vegan. Wow, that is hard to believe.
That is hard to believe.
At his age, he probably has to be.
Well, that could be.
Maybe that's why he lived so long.
That could very well be too. Yeah. But then again, like George Burns, he lived forever, and he could have lived longer. That motherfucker did all kinds of shit.
Yul Brynner was the best Terminator.
Well, there was a time where they were going to remake Westworld with Arnold Schwarzenegger in the Yul Brynner role. I shit you not.
Okay. Logan's Run, that's my shit. I also have the number one comic book of Logan's Run, which is like basically looks like the movie poster.
Why is it hard to believe 6? Because he's such a macho man, and I could picture him just frying up everything on a grill the size of fucking Montana.
Yeah, steak.
Yeah.
Testosterone food. Man food.
And he's a farmer type guy. But all right. You're not convinced George Burns wasn't God? Yeah, me either. He got bumped off.
I'm thinking Carlin was God. That's why he hated
No, he's a
religion
saint
so
though.
much.
He's a saint though. He's Saint George.
He might have been God. Otherwise, why would he shit on religion constantly?
Well, I mean, when he at the peak of his career, he looked kind of like Jesus, and at the end of his career, he kind of looked like God. So
You got a point.
And he's awesome.
George Burns.
And he was kind of preachy in the latter years, even though his preachiness was kind of very comedic. So
I can just live with William Sadler playing the devil no matter what.
yeah, or
Tim
Death
Burton
Lady,
is,
yeah.
or Tim Curry is my Satan.
Tim Curry was a good Satan, yes. There's a lot of great Satans out there.
Billy Crystal was a great Satan in Deconstructing Harry.
Oh, have I seen that one?
I don't remember
Woody
that.
Allen film? You haven't seen that one?
I don't think so.
I've only seen a few Woody Allen films. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this up here. Say goodnight, Gracie. Good night, Gracie. That's right. Say goodnight, Gracie. And with that, we're gonna say goodnight, Gracie. So good night, all you kids in the chat. We love you so much.
Good night, everybody.
We had a decent show. I think we get a cake. There you go. That's our cake.
You don't have to stay. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Say